between the windows. Can they line it? It is going to be 4 angry men.
Regroup, but Navi north side of Monty.
All stops. He's got 77 points. They get the win. Wasn't enough to put them in the...
And that rock, they don't want them down because if they get just after all four on seat, they're trying to make it happen, but no! Neil with the dribble comes through it.
Tension firmly towards December. The
He is eliminated. They are out. E-Arena takes the victory and are on. He's been picking up all the kills. Belmont gonna have an angle as well. That's 2 down already. Make it a 3rd. It's just Fox full. Next thing rolls in. Flame. Absolutely.
This is crazy good for Genji, and they got it. The win here for it.
So Navi here comes now. Sosit all by himself.
Trying to make the push. Oh! What a win for Navi.
To the compound. Try to play it from the hard cover.
On the right side, AZ on the left. The Dorito, all that matters. AZ with the jump shot.
Of course, gets the counter. 3 members up for the Falcons. In some trouble. Gotta go ahead and throw down the shield, but it is not enough. Falcons.
Much. Right. Oh, can he get it? No, example down stuff.
Twisty might continue to dig deep. One remaining player at the moment.
Just extends up, and he's in a lot of trouble.
Yeah, he just took a headshot with a wine string, but into the blue he goes. The point goes over to Virtus Pro.
Hello, PUBG Esports fans. In 2026, PUBG Esports returns with a more structured, year-long flow. To build a sustainable esports ecosystem, we're bringing more investment and more opportunities, and this expansion goes beyond tournament operations into the game experience as well. Esports is coming closer than ever. With a competition structure open to everyone who plays PUBG, a renewed pick'em experience, the launch of an esports pass, and stronger alignment with ranked, we're building a season that strengthens the link between playing PUBG and watching PUBG esports. For fans, this means more matches, more content, and more season-long storylines to follow. For teams and players, it means more chances to compete, along with increased prize pools and stronger support. Today, we'll walk you through how the 2026 season connects and expands, and what's new this year. The 2026 season is built as a pyramid structure, open from the very bottom. Anyone can take the first step, and every stage leads toward the ultimate destination, PGC. Scrims and Cups are the first step on that path, open to everyone who plays PUBG, from brand new teams and rising talents to top-ranked competitors with pro ambitions. Scrims and Cups are open to all passionate players. Strong results in Scrims and Cups can lead to the regional series, and beyond that, to global events, PGS, and ultimately the PGC stage. The 2026 season keeps rolling with hardly a break from March through the end of the year. With events spread across the year, the season plays out as one connected, year-long race. Fans will have more events and more content to enjoy, and teams will stay in constant competition as the season progresses. At the center of that race is PGS. Now, let's take a closer look at what's changed in PGS for 2026. PGS will be played in a circuit format. Each circuit is made up of Series 1, Series 2, Series Final. And in the Series Final, which is the circuit final, teams can earn even more PGS points. Across the year, there will be 4 circuits and 12 total PGS events. Here's the key difference in 2026. Results carry forward. What happens in Series 1 shapes the flow of Series 2, and that momentum carries into the Series Final. Teams battle each week to create their next opportunity, while fans follow a 3-week storyline across the circuit. Each circuit features 24 teams, 12 global partner teams, and 12 regional teams. In the first half of the year, regional teams will be selected through an invitational format, And in the second half, selection will be based on regional series performance. 2026 season ultimately leads to PGC. There are two paths to qualification: PGS points, earned through PGS, and PGC points, earned through regional series performance. So even teams that don't compete in PGS still have a way in. During the season, global events that PUBG Esports fans have loved return with even more excitement. In particular, EWC reflects first-half performance, reinforcing that results from scrims, cups, and the regional series can lead to global opportunities. To build a sustainable esports ecosystem, we're strengthening both prize pools and team support in 2026. First, the total prize pool increases by $1 million compared to last year, with more prize money available throughout the season. And the impact isn't limited to the top teams. At the cup level, the total prize pool will be approximately $130,000, designed to give new teams and challengers meaningful momentum early on, and a real reason to keep climbing. In addition, the Global Partner Team (GPT) program expands to 12 teams in 2026, supported by $1 million in team funding to help teams stay competitive and sustain their operations throughout the season. By expanding the foundation through partner team support and increased prize funding, we aim to create an environment where more teams can continue competing and challenging themselves throughout the season. In 2026, the connection between playing PUBG Battlegrounds and watching PUBG Esports becomes even stronger. Throughout the season, the following in-game item and esports updates are planned. The Pick'em Challenge, familiar to many esports fans, will be refreshed for 2026, returning in a new and more engaging Fantasy League format. In addition, PNC 2026 and PGC 2026 items will be obtainable through event passes. We look forward to sharing more details soon. Finally, we will prioritize alignment between ranked and the esports competitive environment. Whenever possible, post-patch updates will be applied to official events quickly, keeping the played game and the watched game closely aligned. In 2026, PUBG Esports opens the door wider than ever, so anyone who plays PUBG can take part, challenge themselves, and enjoy the season. Thank you for your continued interest and support throughout the year. Through every change, we will continue listening to your feedback and working to improve our experience. For the latest updates, please follow the official PUBG Esports channels. See you soon.
I was killed, but I'm still alive. I know. We get dragged into the dark, rebuilt into something else. He reads me. He measures me. He crafts a weapon made for me. And then he sends us back into a new battleground. We don't know why we were given this chance, but this time, it won't end the same.
Всем привет, с вами Винни. Возможно, вы меня знаете по моим стримам на Твиче или по роликам на Ютубе. Хочу напомнить о предстоящем турнире. PGS One 2026 стартует уже 18 марта с групповой стадии. Конечно же, я буду болеть за красивый PUBG и классные матчи, но отдельно буду следить за командами Аврора и Twisted Minds. Надеюсь, они покажут отличный результат. Если вы тоже хотите посмотреть, как сражаются лучшие команды мира в PUBG и, возможно, подсмотреть какие-то фишки для своей игры, обязательно заходите на прямые трансляции PUBG Sports на Twitch, Kick и YouTube. Увидимся с вами на PGS.
Got a missile and got a pretty face. I don't partake when I'm fakes. I don't like that, you heard me say. Repeat again, I don't partake. Got a missile and got a pretty face. I don't partake when I'm fakes. I don't like that, you heard me say. Repeat again, I don't partake.
Hello everyone and welcome to PUBG's The Race. We've tuned in yesterday, you kind of have an idea on what's going on, but this is the last day so things are going to get wild. I'm Matrima, joined by Mark Power as well as Michael, taking you through all the action today. Starting off with it, Mark, man, I mean, yesterday was pretty wild. We expecting to see Weenie continue to dominate everything?
Oh, that's a big question. That is a big question. They played so well. They played really well into the end, let's be honest. And obviously that Society play into the middle closed out the evening, which was pretty strong. Are they going to continue? They've got a foot up on a lot of these teams. But I feel like every game that we get closer and we move on, every team adapts to how the zones are reacting. First part of yesterday, Matt, I felt like everyone was kind of, it was crazy, let's be honest. It was just chaos. But the last couple of games, people started adapting it. I think we're seeing that kind of old school, send it to the center. So I think that in mind, these teams will get better at playing this style of game. And I'm expecting teams to catch up with Weenie, maybe even take it away from them.
All right, we need the pro player perspective on this very interesting format. So Michael, how are we going to see some like changes? There wasn't a lot of hunting going on. Really, we just saw Tiggleton kind of go after like Weenie one time just to secure the 10 points. You expect that to change up a bit more? You think it's going to be a bit more violent to be hunted?
Yeah, I think yesterday, like you said, it was just Tig who actually hunted someone, and other than that, no one else did it. I think today there's going to be a lot more people who are looking at how much points it actually gets you. I think you should be looking to, no matter where you are on the leaderboard, kick your game off for those 10 points, and then you get those 10 points, kill Weenie, kill the hunted, and then you focus on your game after that. But your game should always start off by killing the guy who is the hunted every single time, no matter what.
Here are our captains. We've got 10,000 days at the start. Doozy, Batulin, Sabako, Evan, Zuluman, Yaren, and Weenie over on the EMEA side, and Corky, Tiggleton, Obi-Wan, Pippa, Kickstart, Smizira, Skipinyo, and Kawazine for the Americas. And it has been, it still feels like it's a very close race whenever we look at this, Mark. We did have, yes, Weenie that was up top of the leaderboard, but a lot of people have been chasing after him, and it still feels pretty compacted.
Yeah, and is there an advantage? Because obviously he had the hunted on him, and that obviously puts a target in your back. But I personally felt like they didn't react to that. They just played their game normally, and as a result, they found themselves some points. Yes, some teams got the kill on him, and eventually they got some extra money. But at no point through yesterday we saw someone actually take over that hunt role. So I feel like Weenie's team in the driving seat. I just come back to my original point, especially talking to some of the players after the event and this morning. It was more about it's all about getting to the center compound if you can, and it is chaos driving around and trying to shoot at this speed.
We've been talking a lot about what's going on, so let's look into the format itself. We're running Smash rules, so that means how many games are we playing today? We don't know. It's until a team has hit 85 points and then wins a chicken dinner. This is important. You can't get 85 points inside the same game you get the chicken dinner, so it's got to be 85 points and then win a chicken dinner. On top of that, there's the hunt. There is 10 points rewarded to killing the captain of the team that is presently in first place, which was Weenie for the get-go through it all. So very used to being hunted, and he will be the hunted yet again. Overall, let's take a look at the leaderboard so that way you can guys get an idea of kind of what we're looking at overall when we go into this. Of course, Weenie's up at 61 points. But Michael, that's not that big of a lead when you look at just killing Weenie is worth 10.
Yeah, exactly. And also Smurzero's team is up there. That is not a team that I expected to do so well, but I mean, Smurzero's usually the guy who's casting everything, and now his team's actually putting in performances. He has Haven as well, who is a Brazilian competitive player who popped off yesterday in that big win that they had. But yeah, Kickstart's team, just doing what you'd expect, really. He's always good in these events, like I said yesterday, and Tig as well. Honestly, Tig's team did a pretty good comeback compared to yesterday's first game, taking an EP and then having to run and chase his own every single circle. They still managed to salvage some points, but yeah, a lot of the teams at the top are who you'd expect, except for Smurzerio, who, like I said, is overperforming and playing really well.
I mean, you hit on a great point, because we didn't even get a chance to talk about the fact that if you didn't tune in yesterday, we've got really fast circles. So if you're taking emergency pickups and not having a vehicle of some type, and the circle moves away from you, it is painful, Mark. You just got to hustle the whole time.
Yeah, we saw it very early on, people having to adapt. So obviously those early zones, they're going to sort of trigger quite soon. We saw loads and loads of players just limited when it comes down to ammo. Utility was struggled. I think the later games that we had yesterday, Matt, it was all about who got to the center first. So if you find yourself in a center spot, that's great. We see a lot of teams now starting to crash those compounds, because it becomes kind of like the golden key to potentially winning the game out. If you're lucky enough, the hunted, obviously in this case, Weenie finds his way working towards your compound. But I didn't really see people triggering. There's only when those sort of flags came up and those identifiers came up saying about the hunted, obviously, and we get 3 of them, guys and gals, out there, so 3 points in the game. You're going to see this kind of location ping appear up on screen. That tells everybody else exactly where, in this case, Weenie is as the hunted player. And there you go. Thank you very much, production. So you'll see that come across the screen, and everyone gets a trigger to say, actually, that's where he is. The only team, Matt, that I saw kind of react to that, well, see, 2, sorry. Between's team looked over, but the only team to react to it was Tiggleton's team, and we saw them go for the early cross, going across that military island, and they were active to try and close them out.
Looking at, we can see that, of course, it is going to be Weenie that is hunted off the get-go. But what is everybody playing for? You talked about a golden key. Well, we got some golden prizes. $30,000 is the prize pool that everybody's going to be fighting for today. And that is absolutely massive. How do we get there, though? That's going to be moving through our maps. We're going to be starting off with Tego. We've got a rotation that is set up, and it's just going to cycle the entire time. No map selection, no anything else like that. It is just a full-on rotate all the way through the day, Mike.
Yeah, I'm kind of hoping that Weenie's team slows down. I think a lot of teams coming into the day will change their strategy. I think we will see them get hunted from the get-go. Usually you would kind of expect after game 1 and 2 that some teams are changing their strategy on the fly and on as it goes on, but it didn't seem like many were doing that, except for Tickleton's team maybe. But yeah, I'm hoping that teams are coming in today and hunting the first place team from the get-go, so the leaderboard gets it more evened out.
I mean, it's already pretty even. We do have that like 13-point lead, but then after that, whenever we look at Missouri, it's at 48 points. It's 44 for Kickstart, 40 for Tiggleton, and then it's just like a stack of 38s, 35s, all on the left side of the leaderboard. This still feels like this can be anybody's race, but whenever we look at this, Mark, I mean, you got to get to 85 and then win around. Just that little bit of a lead, just that 13 points feels like it's massive.
I'm the way, guys. I think it's gonna go super quick today. I'm not gonna lie, and I'm happy you guys have proved me wrong in this one. But if a team can get the kill for the hunt, that's 10 points, and then they can get the win, then they're going to be shooting their way out the leaderboard. Now, they've got some really good, and there's this sort of grouping on the left-hand side of that leaderboard that is super tight, you know, sort of those 40s we mentioned about. Ooh, Matt disappeared for a second. But actually on the right side of that leaderboard, anywhere between sort of 9th down to 16th, and we've got the likes of Batalions in there, guys, right? A good game, he's on 30 points. You get the kill, that puts him on to 40. He's very much looking to sort of bite at the heels of Weenie's team. And then it's just a win for them and control. Michael, you said at the end of yesterday, mate, how well did Batalions team actually control out that sort of Tego? They held the ridge, and every second that kind of counted down, there was nowhere else the team could go.
Yeah. I mean, Battlegrounds coming into today, I'm expecting his team. He's going to do something genius. He always does. Whenever he's down that leaderboard, he will do something genius and create. I can guarantee, it doesn't matter if it's esports or not. Like, he's sitting in replays, he's watching how he can improve for the day. I know he will do something, and it will revolve around killing Weenie's team. I put my word on it that he's going to do something in the first game that's going to kill the first place team.
I mean, but that's one of the reasons why we love Batulin so much, right? Is this guy is a grinder in a different way. You can grind the game in a lot of different ways, just playing a ton of rap, trying to make sure you can get as many kills as possible, or you can just deep dive. And Batulin has always felt like the guy that's only playing against himself. It's all about strategy, figuring out some new way to approach the game every single time. And whenever you get a format like this, yeah, I know it's fun, but you got to remember the people that have that type of mindset where it's just like, I've always got to be the best. They don't care about circuit. They don't care about any of this other stuff. They still want to win, and they want to prove that they can outsmart whatever system that they're involved in.
But this is the big thing, right? And to add to the fun, this is our first time that actually we're seeing potentially these PGS teams go head to head, right? Because we've got a lot of the players sitting in the lobby, and it's kind of like the first insight, especially for the year, especially everyone like myself sitting watching at home going, actually, who's going to be able to adapt? Yes, this is a fun circuit. Yes, this isn't linked to PGS, but it's the first time in 2026 that we're seeing these high-level competitive teams clash it out. But obviously, back to your point, I do think Batulin is going to manage the run of points quite well, and I would expect him to sort of work his way up. Will he be able to hunt Weenie down? I don't know. I generally don't know. I think he'll be looking for the late game. I think if he has the opportunity, Mike, I think he'd definitely go for it. I'm more really interested to see actually the teams like Kick and Tiggleton. Let's bring them into this as well. One, they will clash and they're super competitive, both those teams, and if they get the opportunity, they will get bragging rights and push each other. But talking to Kick before, he was saying actually the dynamic today for them is trying to get to that center compound. So I wouldn't be too surprised to see maybe Kick try and get looted early and get rotating like twice as quick as what we saw yesterday.
Yeah, I think in this type of tournament as well, it kind of depends on how big the compound is in the middle. There might be a world where you pick up extra util and you just get in the compound in the middle if you have no plans and just stall. You throw smokes down everywhere, you just stall your life. By the time 3 smokes are faded, you've already skipped it, like maybe a zone and a half, and half the server's dead, and then your back's open. Just get to the compound. If it's big, of course, if it's like a 3-building compound, you can't share it. It's unrealistic. But if you can get into a compound that's like of decent size, you just sit in a building, stack up, throw util smokes, block the doorways, like so you can't just get utiled out, and then all of a sudden you're in the late game, you're playing to win, and then you're playing to win the tournament.
Well, you mentioned a lot of different ways to approach what we're looking at right now. Of course, there is PGS that's coming down the way, but there's also a lot of different factors that we need to look at because we do have the PEAS and the PEC that is coming down the road. So make sure that you kind of keep an eye on what's going to be going on with those because there are still signups that are available. Feel free to join. There is a lot of opportunity as we have a lot of teams with the capabilities to really climb up. So if you've been watching this, you've been watching PUBG for quite a while, don't miss your opportunity. Jump in, find some friends, and try to participate because that is, even if you don't win, I still insist it's one of the best ways to get exponentially better at PUBG fast. It is so crazy how much you learn so quickly there, Mike.
Yeah, and the adrenaline rush. It's like nothing will, honestly, when I first started playing competitive, and even now, just the adrenaline rush of playing and everything matters, every small decision, pre-planning, your zones, everything. It's nothing beats it. And yeah, you can play against me if you play against PEC. We're playing the open qualifiers in my team, although I didn't go too well this last week.
I was about to say, how did it go, Michael? You tell me.
No, we don't talk about it. We don't talk about it. We started on week 2. That was a warm-up round.
Oh, warm-up round. But the good thing is, though, that you've got 5. That series, there's 5 opportunities, 5 chances. And it's just one of those things, if you're sitting at home and you play PUBG, like, mate, even if you're playing with a group of 4 people and your mates, it's just a Friday, Saturday night, just sign up and just see if you can compete, because you get yourself through, and even if you don't get yourself through, you can sign up again for the week after. As I said, the series is 5 weeks long, so why not just put yourself on the line? Why not see what you've got? And if you can get all the way through and beat Michael, who's sitting on in the middle of the screen,
it's not too hard.
You find yourself in the cup.
Just suddenly, I know we're hunting Weenie at the start of this one, but suddenly we're hunting Michael for some reason. I don't know why that's become the thing.
I brought it on myself.
You guys are talking about, like, we've got a lot of PGS teams that are in here, but kind of, right? Because the way that the rosters are set, you can't have a full squad. We were kind of talking about Batulins earlier, and of course, Weenie's squad's been in the hunt. You know that there's also a lot of inner rivalries that are going on whenever we've got, like, teams for Tiggleton and Kickstart. We've got Perfectix that's going to be playing on Weenie's squad while Batulins are in the hunt. it's an interesting dynamic whenever you kind of have to start playing against your teammates, isn't it, Michael? Because you have an idea on what they're going to do, but you know that they're always holding something back and they're wanting to go after it, right?
Yeah, I've done tournaments like these as well, and I tell you, even if it's not your teammate, it's just your friend who you talk to. Like, imagine Tig and Purdy with Kickstart, even Purdy, who's not on Falcons, but like he knows Kick and all these, like, it gets you adrenaline going that little bit more, and then you start to like, not panic, but you just get a bit shaky, like, ooh, I want to kill him so bad, but I don't want to mess this up because that'll be really embarrassing. And like, it's just like a kind of little mental games of yourself as well. But it's such a good trophy if you can kill a friend in that. Just bragging rights, full bragging rights.
I mean, just banter. That's what it comes down to at the end of the day. That's one of the things about PUBG, right? Is in order to just do scrims and do all this other stuff, you have to get so many players together. We talk about this every once in a while, so it's kind of like its own. It's a lot bigger because, like, if you do something like, I don't know, most other FPS games are like this team versus this team, right? And so it's like 5v5 head to head. You can run scrims as much as you want. PUBG doesn't work that way. You got to get everybody together. So our community tends to run pretty efficiently on banter, to say the least. Is, you know, it's a running commodity. Even if a scrim doesn't count or anything else like that, it's just like you got to do the message instantly. Like, bro, did you see how I just killed you? And those types of things. It's always good. And I love the fact that we're getting the start of the year with so much stuff going on. We've got the PEC, the PAS that's starting up. We've got tons of cup opportunities that are going to be available for people who are playing online. We've got the race that's going on right now and PGSs that are all going to be starting soon. It's just absolutely crazy here.
Well, yeah, we've got a couple of weeks now. With 18th, isn't it, of March? So a few more weeks, and then we're into the sort of the PGS run as well. And obviously, for those that don't know, obviously it comes across 3 series. So the first, you'll be starting obviously the group stages, and you'll work your way from groups. Obviously, be going through to winners, etc., survival, and then to the finals. The next week, as we come back, though, we're missing kind of that group stage, and we're going to be starting off though in the winners section. So. And then obviously the final week is the same, and it's all key for these players to make sure they get maximum amount of points off the go in series number 1 for PGS. And again, if you can find yourself with that momentum, we talk about the Battalions and the Twisted Minds. They're one of the, I suppose, stronger teams for managing longer events, because we've always seen them kind of go from those loser brackets, and they like the extra games. There's always the banter that comes out. This event's slightly different. They're kind of trying to avoid that because they want to maximize. They can't risk themselves going out, because if they get the finals correct, though, in the PGSs, obviously you got that first week, they're going to be maximized the points, and it's kind of like its overall leaderboard. And for Twisted Minds, you've got to make sure you get in there, and if you don't and you fall short in the losers bracket, you'll be scrabbling for points later on.
Oh yeah, and we talked about community just a second ago, guys. Sometimes it takes a second to get all these players into the lobby. We're making jokes about it, kind of corralling hats or cattle, whatever you want to say, get them inside the lobby. Sometimes we do have a couple players that are still missing. That's why we're doing a bit of an overtalk. I know we were supposed to start just a few minutes ago. I apologize. We want to make sure we get all the players in. Don't blame us. Sometimes it happens. And honestly, don't even always blame the players. One of the players, I think, is having a weird internet outage. So they're trying to take care of that and resolve it quick. You know, just doing the normal stuff such as like routers, doing blah, 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 just to make sure it's not on their end. Try to get in as fast as possible. So pardon us while we do a little bit of a dive into everything that we're looking at for the year. But jumping back in, here are our picks, a little bit less biased than I think that we saw yesterday for the Americas there, Michael.
Yeah, you can tell that this is an EU voting system, but also it looks kind of correct though, regardless of that. Twisted Minds VP would definitely be my top 2, and then the third one's definitely up for grabs. But this is looking proper.
A doozy.
Oh God,
Doozy and Batulin's throwing some T1 out there. Love to see it.
Should production show us the Americas one quickly if you can? Just throw it up, right? Because for those that might be joining in for day number 2, that's how we vote in our region. We're pretty fair. We will look at the stats, we'll look at the facts, and we will go, actually, yeah, we feel like, again, the VP was the big one for me. I think they had like 3 votes yesterday. But then you look at kind of this, and it's like, yeah, that's right. They played really well. They're going to win an event, and we all love each other, so we're going to make it equal and fair amongst. But yeah, good shout on the T1. I think that's fair. They should be up there. And for me, this one's more realistic because we have VP up at the top.
But then a doozy clearly hates Twisted Minds. There's clearly some CIS beef going on there. And same with Battlegrounds, he clearly hates a Doozy's team.
no love lost, but I mean, it kind of happens with all the banter and whatnot. A lot of Korean love in this one, and All right, look at that. 17 Gaming also getting some attention in there. This is a really interesting year to move forward because we have so many different moving factors that we're looking at, such as like what's going to be going on. Of course, the switch from FP to TP. We've got all of the like newcomers and faces that are trying to like make a rise for that through the new systems that are going to be happening that we were just talking about. So it's intriguing to look at the start of the year and kind of call, okay, this is how we think it's going to go, and then watch how it develops because it always goes like that, right, Michael?
Yeah, and I think Korea had the biggest advantage for PMI because they kind of play third person in their spare time. But although last year was all first person tournaments, they still kind of enjoy and stream in their spare time in third person. I'm now interested for the first PGS going in, now that EU and all the West has had time to practice third person, to see if that gap is closed, because it was pretty much a no contest last year with Korean teams on TVP.
Here you go. Here you go. I give it to you now, Mark. Make your comments.
They clearly bullied. Is everyone safe out there, right? We need to double check here because Tig's Kicks team, they are full Falcons picks, right? That is biased all the way through. Unlike the EMEA stuff. But you see what I mean? Like, Falcons 11 points. Wow, surprisingly. But VP, how's VP got 2? How have they got 2? And then, let's rock.
Look, you guys in Europe, you pick people that you think are going to win. Part of the problem in Americas is we just go with our heart, man. And how else do you end up with anyone's legend on a list? That's not going to happen in Europe, but Americas, we'll give anyone's legend some love.
Yeah, I think Tig has definitely been handing out his spare pocket money as well for those Falcons guesses as well. I'm presuming that guy has a bit of dough lying around. I can imagine he's definitely paying for those votes. But yeah, I don't know. Smurzero's trying to be a man of culture, I think. He's trying to pre-pick the anyone's legend guess. I think Genji's a solid one as well. But yeah, anyone's legend's interesting from Smurzeero.
But contemplate this for a second. Tiggleton is playing with Terran, Gunner, and Hurdy Curdy. And did you notice anything on Tig's picks that was, I don't know, maybe another team missing there? Perhaps.
Well, it might have been a stallion that didn't kind of bolt from the stables and make it to the leaderboard. Because I think they whipped him into shape. I think there's a recount. We need to check Purdy's okay.
Oh, poor Kurt. I mean, I guess maybe he got bought. I don't know. We'll have to see. Here's kind of the tournament structure that we're looking at with everything. I know it looks all complicated, but it's predominant win, 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 and win some more. You don't have to worry about it. If maybe in the middle areas you have a bit of a stumble, it's not the end of the world, but it's not going to be the most fun. Mark, I know that you're really, you understand all of these systems really well. So whenever you're glancing at this, what stands out?
I really like this. Yes, it does look confusing, I suppose, as a bit of an artwork, but obviously as we get into it, and as I said before, it is in a couple of weeks. So guys, get ready, the popcorn underway. The group stage is going to kind of set the tone and the speed. And as Michael mentioned, the first look again at this kind of TPP. Yes, we had PMI, which was PUBG Masters Invitational at the end of the year, and it was fantastic. I was so blessed to be there. Bloody cold though. But it was a first look, and I would say maybe the scale of TPP was favouring that side of the region compared to us. Now we've had a couple of events. Now we have this fun event as well. And I think the group stage is going to be the one that everyone needs to watch out for. If you get yourself through, it is about win, win, win. You've got to try and stay in that kind of white bracket. Obviously, with those top going straight through to the finals each time. And obviously, when you come back to Series 2, depends on where you finish the series before. It's depending on where you enter in the next series. But I think it's going to be interesting. I think it's going to be fast-paced. For me, it's going to be all about focusing in on actually, do you know what? Who is going to be able to claim the first PGS as a TPP?
Enough talk about the future and what lies in that. Instead, we've got ourselves set up for game number 1. We're going to be getting into it just 1 second. Baco is only going to be playing with 3 due to the fact of how everything's set up. But game number 1 is underway. We are up and getting ready to take off. We've got a plane path that's starting off next to Ganyang. It's going to be kind of going a bit north as it heads to the west, ending up on the island over there. So a lot at play. Whenever you're looking at this plane path, Michael, do you take the risk? Do you go to the northern island?
Yeah, because when I was watching yesterday, I never really noticed anyone doing a circle 1. It's because of how fast the zones are. It seemed like everyone was so stressed with getting themselves to the zone that it was like you see more camps in esports, and that's like still camps aren't too often unless there's a bridge involved. But even those bridges involved, no one seemed to be camping anything yesterday. They were so stressed about themselves.
Yeah, I get you, Michael, but I think is that because they were dealing with the early speed and the change surely coming into day number 2, mate, they've rewatched. They're like, do you know what?
Yeah.
Maybe it is about getting to the center of compound. Maybe if we're not in center compound, we don't have a path. Do we then just try and capitalize on points and hold the outside edge?
Yeah, and I do think as soon as Weenie's team is marked, I think people should literally get in cars and fly towards them. Like I was saying yesterday, especially late game, if they make it to late game and they're getting marked and you know where they are and you're going to be out of zone and you're dead, like you have to either make a crazy play or you're just dead. Get in your car, drive at that team, drive past the 3 teammates, drive past Perfectus, drive past Sosa. I mean, as hard as that's going to be, but then literally find the guy in the red outfit. That's the captain. You need to kill him and you get points anyways. Why not just kill Weenie and then get out of the game? You're done. Like, you know.
Well, let's look at this zone here, right? Because it's really good to get, before we kick you out, get your player insight. Your Weenie's team, you've jumped early, right? We've seen the hunt is on because you've gone airborne, and you've now got a massive run across the zone. Do you try and take the emergency pickup, try and get there early, and if they get the ping that gets away with it, unfortunately for my side, he falls down. What would be your sort of game style if you was IGL in now, sort of Weenie's team that is well away from that zone?
My first insight is it could come south, but it's not likely. Going straight to the zone and crossing a bridge inside the zone is not likely because I think everyone will be camping. As soon as Weenie's team is marked, everyone will camp every bridge, or they should do. I would probably rotate around Yongchon Bridge, probably the most eastern one, in the blue, and just play for the circle 2 pre-drive maybe. Or just get across the island. That's all. When these circles happen, just get across onto the island. That's goal number 1. After that, you figure your game out as it comes. But definitely don't go across the obvious bridges that are in the zone because they will be camped and people will be holding those spaces until late, until they can guarantee their back will be clear.
I think you're right. I think it is going to be about this rotation. So thank you very much, Michael. And we'll see you, though, unless anything crazy happens and you can bring us the amazing insight, especially for the pro side. So Weenie's team needs to get on the rotation here, Matt. A wide rotation might be the key, and going for those safer bridges might be their option.
I know, but we're missing one of the PGS moments that did happen where we could have something around that secondary island. You know, there's the small island right in between kind of the peninsula and the island itself.
Stop dreaming.
I mean, it's a good home to live on. I mean, if you're Weenie, think about it. You could go there and just hang out, and you're fortified. Nobody can come after you. It's a chance to try to pick up some kills. Looking at this, though, Kick and Smazera already on the move. Looks like Kick's trying to go for a more centralized point just to the south of Godok. Rest of our squads not yet really moving. No big rush. It's just trying to get points. Pippa. Great shots.
Great shots. Finds one. I'm not going to really have to stop here. They are just on the outside of the zone, so not too far. So maybe an opportunity to go back and get that blue chip and get the recall in. As all you can see, phase number 1 underway. If you have just tuned in, just FYI, the zones are hella quick. And even Bloomy, the legend that can hold out and med his way through the blue, is none and void. He can't do it here, unfortunately.
I just imagine every single time somebody says Bloomy, he just smashes a table. But you can see, remember guys, we do mark who is the hunted 3 times per round. So first time it is now popped up. Everybody knows where Weenie is, but he's way over to the east, as far away from the circle as you can get. Unless anybody really opts to go away from the circle, he should be fine for now.
Yeah, and look, we've seen this before. He's been caught on the outside edge, etc. So yeah, he's got long distance to travel, yes, but at least the ping there is quite far. It's over in the east. People are going to be looking at this and guessing. I worry about this bridge, as Michael mentioned, and it is such a key point. There are choke points to this, right? Do you cross over? I think a lot of these teams will be looking at this going, yes, we need to cross now and get to the main island. The only worry I've got with that, and it is, we're driving. Whee! We're a bit more of a bouncy car, but thanks, Observer. The big thing for me is the zones are unpredictable to a degree. We're going to obviously go faster, and it doesn't factor in the water as much. So are we going to see it bounce back to those islands? Are we going to see it play back to the river more aggressively? And if it does, and it plays back onto the south, we've got 90% of those teams on that north side, that'd be even more chaos added in.
Well, you're already seeing the bridges becoming a factor. Due to the fact that this is set up, there is the one that's very far over into the east, but then there's the 2 main bridges that's going to be kind of the contest points that we're looking at. Yarane's playing around it for the time being. You can see over to the very far east, not even inside the circle is what we're looking at with Batu. It looks like they wanted to try to go on this more eastern lane bridge, try to go around it, but it's going to be 10,000 Days and his squad that we're playing the opposite side. They have their own problems, and the fact that Zulamon's going to be coming up pretty close to them. But then back behind that, we've got Heaven Squad and how they're going to be making their approach. So nobody really going through the centered meta, still staying pretty strong. This is, I mean, pretty formulaic for what you would expect. Well, that's not formulaic. Catching a little bit of a rotation, but that's fine. Not the rotation that Weenie really wanted in his car.
Style points. That's what it was. Style points. And actually, they're actually not going wide. They're going towards that fishing camp area. Might be looking at that bridge, and as we can see, because we've got the eyes in the sky, they actually rolled the dice, and it's lucky enough for them. Petulians is holding out the bridge, so he is looking for that team, and maybe Weenie's team to sort of come path in this way. But it's not going to be the case for them, and everyone else has gone for that wider rotation. It has gone around that kind of north to northeast. There's that zone pop. Doesn't go to that kind of little island just yet, but we do give up a lot of that south zone. So there's no crazy shift back south, but for now, the rest of these teams now need to get themselves over the bridge.
Great positioning right now for Kick and Yarain as well. Yarain already holding back Kalazin's squad. It looks like they were trying to make the bridge. Weenie's going to be on the other side of Smizera right now, but Pippa has been waiting for a while. He wanted to put in some work from this little hidey hole that he's been playing from. At least manages to take down Skipinyo, so that's going to be some benefit. Rotators that we're looking at right now. Skipinyo, Pippa, of course. Batu and his squad running through a red zone right back behind 10D. Tiggleton's trying to come up back behind Kalazine. You can see that this is going to be Weenie getting some high ground, starting to look through, but Yarain continuing to just try to punish anybody crossing that bridge.
I do love that bridge. I do like the up and over. They managed to find themselves over at the moment. Aduzi's team like split. They're going to make some noise, and again, there is definitely a clear focus to hold hard cover, hold compounds. Everyone's going for the send, and they want to try and hold, but it does mean we are going to clash heads now. Kunitso is there for one. Whoa. He swings back. The car bounces back like bumper cars. Is able to get the connection. He's got a forward gas. Well, he needs to get involved.
Third squad is approaching, and that is going to be just everything going chaotic here. Zulamon on the other side of it spots out, takes down Honey Badger. Kiliakai is going to pick that one up. And now suddenly Corky finds themselves pinched between everything that's going on. They've got to be very cautious. They need to finish out one of the fights as fast as possible, but it is so hazardous. There's so many walls, so many little hidey holes. It's making it complicated. Just down to 2 now. More and more threats approaching from the perimeter.
Oh, there's a slight hunt is on the way, and I think they've clashed past because they've gone the other way. And now they've picked up a final player. Full send, as you can see on the other side. But you're right, Corky's team has to try and deal with this fight quickly and lock it down. Information is going to be key. And for the guys, though, on the other side, though, it has been hunted. And for Skip's team, they lose another body.
Slowing back down the pacing a little bit, trying to get some smokes out to deny out any vision. But Corky's duo still alive, lined up next to each other. Position has been revealed, so everybody knows where Weenie is. The circle is now popped as well. We've got a red zone on top of all of this just to make it a little bit more complicated. Looks like Skipinyo also on the outside of this trying to get involved. I don't know if Zulamon is expecting this, suddenly taking a lot of damage. Everything's getting more and more chaotic over here. Zulamon thought that they could come in. They could be the third party, but the fourth party coming in and spoiling it all.
It's exactly as everyone said. Again, spoke to a few of these players. It was the same. It was about get into the zone, like get to the compound. And this is the primary compound. So no surprise that everyone is looking inward. Shimzera's team, though, is holding out. They have stopped on the outside edge, maybe to be more reactive to that kind of ping, though, from the hunt, as Winnie's team is a little bit further towards that east. And we saw a great clip, and big shout out to PUBG Esports clipping it up, because poor old Obi-Wan's team got destroyed by a red zone during mid-fight, because the red zone, it conquers all.
It really does. Kalazine was very, very close to this. I was curious if they were going to try to get involved, but just and one that's over there. We do have Pippa on top of Smizera, as well as Winnie, all rolling right next to each other. It's getting pretty dicey over here as well.
Oh, just come off the red zone's killed 4 people.
On top, Smizera's got to play this one very, very carefully. This is going to be the blue zone right at their back. Sosed's coming in for reinforcements on the other side. Smizera, do you commit into the fight, or do you make the run away? Not too much that you can really do. Already taken so much damage. Everything that stalls you out in this one just hurts so bad because of how fast these circles are.
How fast. In our phase 3, we're about to move towards that phase 4. We needs to ensure he doesn't die to the blue zone, because if he does, it is going to be minus 10 points. Now, today we are looking for that kind of 85-point threshold, and this team is the driving force here. One will fall down, so Steve gets the connection. A little bit of a final spray, does click dry, and it is done. We'll find the final kill. That's 15th place, and unfortunately for them, they're going to fall to the hunt.
Leader keeps on climbing. Everybody is just trying to navigate the red zone right now and find some form of safety. The compound in the middle that has been the focus for everything, just having more and more eyes drawn to it. Batu to the north, and you can see a couple of solos. Weekend squads just trying to fight for the dips and the hills that are going to be very close to it. That means that this is just getting brutal. Actually, Batu looks like it's a full commit from their squad. They are crashing into the other side, and it is a full-on house party here right now.
It feels like Red Zone's conquering more. Panzerfaust confirming others. Battalions, though, runs across the field, finds the ridgeline that's needed. Zulu's team is going to be there, as they do put up pickup, and unfortunately falls out as the BRDM. Well, it was a target, let's say, Matt.
Well, Obi-Wan Coyote might find themselves in some trouble as Weenie's making a push right on top of them. Shane Doe already down, rolling around on the side of this one. They've got to be careful. The verticality could be a bit of a problem, but it's already being navigated well. 2 people down for Obi-Wan Coyote. Finally, a retaliation knock comes. The Spectro has to drop down to his belly. Him and Cowboy. No, just Cowboy. The last one up. Weenie is down, though. Does get flushed out. Ooh. Cowboy manages to pick it up. That is a big stack of points for Obi-Wan Coyote and squad.
That was a huge reaction as well, and do you know what? A big clap there for Cowboy. He knew there wasn't much more to get. The red zone was encroaching, teams were pushing pressure, and Cowboy saw the opportunity not just to bag some money, but to bag his team a key 10 points.
Rotations coming out right now. Weenie's still in some trouble on the outside. The circle did go a bit more centered, so Kickstart's going to be very close to Weenie and team. Well, I should just say Weenie's team now. Tiggleton just running right through the middle of the red zone. Looks like their eyes are a bit more to the north. And yes, the compound of destiny stays inside this circle as well. So everybody that is clustered around it still doing fine. It looks like Tiggleton going to be getting pretty close to it, trying to play the other side of the wall.
Now holding on the compound, it is fortification. Tiggleton's team's coming around the outside edge, but finds perfect hits. There's one, the ace goes by, he swings around, but Tiggleton gets the better of him though. Iran will try and help out. They go for 9 points. Final player, can they get one more? Tiggleton's team will fall down, and Weenie just refuses to go down. No, eventually scrap that. It's 10th place. It's 9 points, but they skyrocket up into 70 overall.
Kickstart managed to finish it all there, as now they're going to be rolling into their circle. They should be feeling pretty good. They've got control of the entirety of the East. Just a spattering of teams pretty weakened next to them. Everybody is still up into the north right now, so that means that also a doozy into the west. Very, very strong in positionals that they can play from, and Hibiko's got himself a toy to play with right in the center of it all.
I wonder if he can survive a red zone. Surely he can. Just hold out. This must be the safest place to be, as the red zone's looking to try and claim some more. Beamy on the other side of this one, we are to hear it. They are controlling as they sweep in on that east, and everyone's still kind of remains in sight of the main compound now on the north side of the zone. It's worth noting, especially on the low though, Matchroom, is that at the moment 17 points is kind of the cutoff. A team needs to, yeah, I reckon it's C4. The team needs to ensure that they get above 70 points to be able to take on and over being the hunted. If it stays as it is, Winnie's team gets another roll of the dice.
Okay, the compound finally no longer inside the circle. Batulin's up to the north of it. Going to have to deal with Zulaman and his team that are going to be playing the southern section of it. And one, Calzin's still alive, holding down kind of the foothold that everybody's going to be focused in on. Heaven on the other side. This one at the crossroads might have to make a rotate pretty close to what we're looking at with Zulaman and Batu. Kickstart already inside of vehicles, but it's going to be Batu and squad. Early rotate. They want to try to get into a point as fast as possible. The crossfire is going to be pretty big, and one gets a lot of damage out of them. 2 already down. Batu, rest of the squad watching at range, and Zulaman just absolutely loving it because now they've got more options, and it's so much more free to get into that circle.
Can they get that? I don't think they can. Zulu's team's going to instantly try and finish this one. Back's team will go down. Big push coming in from Kick's team. Expect the counter play, though, especially from Team of Doozy, who sits just a little bit further towards that kind of west from them, and they've got a centralized position. They can sort of look down. Zuluman just trying to get those confirmed out. It's worth noting some of these players have been playing in another community tournament today as well, so some of them are ready. They're warm. Are they warm enough, though, again, for the speed of the circles? I'm not sure.
Zulaman managed to at least get into the, I guess, the long greenhouses or whatever you want to call them over there. Heaven's been playing the high side of the hill to try to get some control, but as they move down this hillside, yeah, they're going to be vulnerable to a doozy. This team that's very spread out. The circle pops, and a doozy heavily favored inside the circle, but there's going to be a ton of threats just chasing in for any point. There is just, what, one building kind of in the circle, and that's it.
Yeah, smidgen. It's tiny, but he's got control now. Can they try and hold this one out? Will we see teams sort of clash their way in, or will we see rotations go round the outside. Again, this is more about point management. Kicks team in a position, if they can get a big game out of this one, could be huge for them. There's a huge Kobe will go in. Does find one. Kiliakai puts silences down.
Just a great road. Zulman slow and steady, wants to make sure that they deal with Heaven back behind them. Kickstart, as you're talking about. This is a potential great game for them. I'm curious to see where they're going to be going, but Zulamon's just in so dominant of a position over here. Lots of utility coming out, but they're going to be walking into a bit more of a more vulnerable position. Chris going to be leading the way. Does manage to make it to a rock cropping. A doozy. Rest of the squad can't really control. Too many threats are starting to come after him, but BTK Master does go down. Yarain now also just trying to cross, and it's going to be Etsu that tries to cut off Kickstart, denying any pathing over here. Great read on the circle.
Look at the utility just coming in either side. Blue Zone will go out. Etsu needs to try and deny information. Can't quite get to Master's grenade. Will pop over the top though. Does the damage though, and there he gets confirmation. Now he gets the opportunity now just to kind of work his way around, but the Blue Zone right underneath him. That's going to start to bloom. Crossbow makes the charge, but he gets denied.
Just beautifully played coming out from Kickstart. Does take some casualties in it, but they've just got to get into the circle. Threat on the other side of the hill in front of them is going to be a doozy himself, who's been playing this patiently, quietly, waiting for Kickstart to just step a little bit further forward. Phil first, trying to hold back Zulamon, but he really can't keep Zulamon off of a doozy. That's made it a bit more complicated. Doozy not feeling comfortable in position, reeling high. He's entirely surrounded on this point, and he's got to survive.
There's an opportunity for Kick. They've got the potential points on the board if they can control it, and they need to get the win. The Doozy's team start to work their way out. They'll try and pop a smoke. Beamy gets the first knock. Will fall down. Take the opportunity now to get as many minutes as they can. Doozy's team, though, hasn't got the time. They start to spread their way across, though. They're trying to isolate Kicks, though. The grenade comes out. The damage is done from Phil first, but he runs into the 5.56.
Just commitment coming out from a doozy right now, realizing that there is a possibility to happen over here, but Kickstart defends it up so well. Crossfire galore coming up. Zulamon on one side, Kickstart on the other. Now the rush comes out from Zulamon. They're charging, trying to use the hillside. Kickstart squad's already ready, but Kickstart's down. Now it is just down to Beamy in a 1v3.
Beamy. He's got the opportunity. Can he take it? He just needs to control these 1 versus 1 fights. It's Chris down to 1 HP. Beamy finds him with the grenade. He finds it versus a 2 versus 1. Double flash. They split. Kiddy Zulu goes one way. Can Beamy deal with 2? He goes for the C swap, but he will go down. Zulu's team will try and hold it out. It's 8 kills for them, 18 point, and Kick's team was so close to getting above that threshold.
My God, that was a crazy start to this one. Kickstart coming up with a big game in and of himself. Michael, my man, what are we looking at in that game?
Top frag popping up and making an insane performance. That was but the Zulu's team that won, they made an insane third party on this compound. If you see on the mini map now, they're coming in on a perfect third party in the middle compound. Like I said before the game as well, you can share compounds in this. Just force yourself and stall. Like, play a build and throw your util, stall. The game played out perfectly. They just waited their time after they entered the compound. And yeah, they had a free line in. Everything dealt with themselves. And yeah, free line to win the game afterwards. Well, not so free when Beamy's alive, but you know.
I mean, you hit on a great point. The fact that Zulamon was in that compound, then also was having to push alongside what was going on with the Tulins, then made the push over right into Kickstart's face on the high ground. Just a very aggressive set of plays coming up in a big way for the squad. But Mark, you were talking about Obi-Wan Coyote and how the red zone did him a bit dirty. 10 points for picking up Weenie is going to be big for them.
Yeah, that was a full send from Cowboy, right? The zone wasn't helpful, not just for them, but I felt like a lot of teams felt the pressure. But they identified where Weenie's team was coming in, and they readjusted and made a play. And do you know what? If you're having a game that you know you're not going to get into late zones there, why not pick up the additional 10 points?
And this is interesting because it was the squad that's down at the bottom of the leaderboard finding those 10 points. So the ones in the hunt missing out on what could be a very pivotal 10 points as we're in this last little sprint coming through. Like, whenever we're looking at it, I mean, Michael, is that the best thing that could have happened for Kick Squad other than them getting it? Is somebody that's so much lower? Or how are we looking at this? Whenever you look at the math and, like, that squad picking that up, does that open up more or less opportunity?
Yeah, I mean, anyone that's in the top running right now will be happy that a team at the bottom of the leaderboard got those points. I'm just glad that Obi-Wan's team actually got some momentum. I think they'll be feeling quite happy after getting that. Because in a normal esports lobby, Cowboy wouldn't run across that road and waste his life like that. He would play along his side of the road, maybe throw a nade towards the knocked Weenie, and then you know, just live for a little bit longer, maybe tank the blue zone. But now it's 10 points. That's like he's just won the game essentially. Like you just got 10 points for doing that. Why not? And yeah, just literally doubled his points based off of that one YOLO run across the road.
God, that is a big jump up for them. Corky now sitting at the bottom of the leaderboard, but over on the top of it, of course, it's still Weenie. I mean, Mark, it feels like we've just been talking about Weenie for 2 days.
It feels like it. Look, if Kick's team, if Beamy pulled that win off, we would have seen them on the 70 points, and then we would have been going to production. What's the decider? We have to wait when it comes down to the hump, but it's going to be another round where we see Weenie have a target on their back. Maybe it's more tactical from Beamy than we expected. Maybe he was happy with a second place because they didn't want the additional points against them.
Yeah, this is an interesting situation that we're trying to figure out exactly what are the benefits and the how do you play around being the hunted, right? It feels like Weenie has a strategy that they're using whenever they move forward through it, but we're going to dive into all that as we move into our next game. We're going to take a quick little break, give you some ideas on what's going on in the future with everything that's going to be happening, and we'll see you in just a few seconds.
Now it's just going to be seeing if they can step into the way. Neo on top finds one, Park Pro finds the other. Gold all by himself up on top.
안녕하십니까. 저는 PO 차승훈입니다. 제가 펍지를 처음 접하게 된 계기는 2017년도에 친구 때문에 PC방에서 같이 지딩을 했었고 치킨을 먹었던 게 너무 기억에 많이 남아서 지금까지 쭉 해오고 있는 것 같습니다. 제가 제대로 시작해봐야겠다라고 생각했던 시기는 막 나가다 보니까 그게 너무 재밌어가지고 프로팀을 들어가면은 대회를 임하기 편하겠다 싶어가지고 들어오게 된 것 같습니다. 합숙 생활이나 단체 생활을 별로 안 좋아했었는데 그냥 하다 보니까 그런 게 좋아진 것 같고 그러다 보니까 규칙적인 생활을 좀 하게 된 것 같아서 그런 게 제일 변한 것 같아요. 제가 제일 기억에 남았던 경기는 2019년도에 있었던 PKL 페이지 2에서 우승했던 경기가 제일 기억에 남는 것 같아요. 세계대회 우승했던 거를 꼽을 수도 있긴 하겠지만 처음 우승을 할 때 그 힘들게 노력했던 순간들이 다 기억이 났었어가지고.
자, 아직 한 발 더 왔다. 잡았다.
변하려고 하는 모습은 사실 도전하는 거라 보니까 도전하는 모습이 좋은 것 같아요. 원래 제가 TPP를 하는 사람이라 그냥 뭐 TPP의 변화에 대해서는 그렇게 별로 크게 신경 쓰지 않고요. 변하지 않는다라는 건 잘 모르겠고 제가 원래 TPP를 주로 개인 방송에서 하기 때문에 뭐 그 부분에 있어서는 다른 선수들보다는 자신감이 더 넘치는 것 같습니다. 티글드 선수랑의 라이벌이라 하기에는 제가 지금은 많이 부족한 것 같고요. 티글드 선수가 조금 더 훨씬 더 저보다 연습도 많이 하고 실력이 더 좋기 때문에 라이벌이라고 생각하진 않습니다. 아직 뭐 승부욕이 넘쳤었을 때랑 다른 것보다는 지금은 제가 연습을 많이 못했기도 했고 실력적으로 많이 내려왔기 때문에 다시 올라가면 또 대답이 달라질 것 같아요. 배틀그라운드라는 게임의 의미는 저를 180도 변하게 해준 게임이라고 생각합니다. 제 인생에서 펍지란 그냥 전부인 것 같아요. 저를 여기까지 만들어준 것도 펍지고 그렇기 때문에 좀 더 애정이 깊게 더 담겨있는 것 같습니다. 뭐 펍지 안 했으면 그냥 게임하면서 일하면서 그냥 평범하게 살았을 것 같아요. 팬분들에게는 사실 우승하는 모습을 보여드리고 싶고요. 그래도 3인칭이니만큼 저희가 또 3인칭을 잘하기 때문에 우승을 하고 싶지만 그래도 최선을 다하는 모습 보여드리도록 하겠습니다. 2026년에는 정말 열심히 할 거기 때문에 2026년 PGC에서는 한국팀의 선봉으로서 제가 우승으로 이끌고 가고 싶습니다.
Weenie is mine. I will dominate Weenie.
Me too. Me too.
On the left. Okay, we start on the left. Okay, you ready? Go.
Yeah, ready? Go.
One more. Inside of left. He's dead. Good job. So now please take...
Меня нокли скипать. Закаты, прям на них.
Я заеду.
Желтый метки. Ебите. Два человека в опане, ебите их. Я нокнул вперед еще.
Нокнул, но за камнем остался. Я нокнул камень. О, хп камень.
Я поставлю, короче.
Рейс, да, ты сайт.
Я в ноке первый.
Сзади меня видно?
Не видно.
Справа, первый, сзади.
Телечь надо.
That's the bounty. He's running at you right now. Yellow mark.
I got knocked. It's fucking far.
Last guy yellow mark. I'm
on the car.
Prefire yellow.
Nice.
You got the 10.
try.
Still on me.
Nading it once. I got no.
Left of the
See
zone.
anything? I mean, so
They're running left in the smoke.
Knocked.
Knocked one as
Dead,
well.
dead.
Left.
I'm feeling
People on my left in the field.
Gap right set.
I got headshot from
Okay,
the field.
one peeking you on edge in the bush. Cody.
On the right. He's seen. Got close out.
Knock.
One knock.
2 more by edge. 1 more in smoke.
Nice, good knock, dude.
1 more in smoke though.
2 knock.
Dude,
You
what
should
the
get both
fuck?
those flashes. Good job.
I didn't kick flush. Why is K not shooting them? He's shooting me.
Oh, okay.
Wait, I didn't get...
And it is already pretty much go time. We're trying to get everything set up for the next game already. So we are seeing a little bit more of a hunt come into play there, Michael. You were commenting about that while we were looking at the replays from that last game. You got to see some of the pathing and the way that the commitments were coming through. What did you take away from that?
Yeah, it's nice to actually hear in the comms that they are saying, this is the guy, go kill him now. Like, and it is the right play. I'm expecting more people to be doing it as we keep going on. Just like, if when your game's over, you're going to die, just go and kill him. Just, all of you, just go and kill him. You're going to get the same amount of points as winning the game if you just kill that guy in the red outfit over there.
I mean, it's a decent rat strategy if you think about it. Sure, you can see the commitment that last game came up, but you know those solos, if anybody's playing along the edge, is also going to try to pounce on it. You have to assume at this stage, it's do or die, right, Mark? So we might see a little bit more desperation come out of our play.
It was so calm as well from the team, right? From Ivory's team, it was like, that's the bounty. We're going to get some money. Just send it and maximize the points. And I think you're right. I think the more games that we have, the more we're going to see from these teams play towards that. Weenie still has that target on his back, right? There's one thing we haven't seen, though, just yet, guys. And that's the fact that if Weenie wins, they get the additional 10 points themselves. So they've been chasing zone. So got to give them a bit of benefit of doubt, right? They're the ones having to hunt themselves in the way in. They have to try and path, and eventually they get kind of run out of zone. If there's a world that Weenie's team gets a centralized zone and gets a compound, because we only saw it once yesterday and they were on the outside edge, but they were middle for a bit. There's a world that actually the rich could get really rich if they get a win.
I mean, this is in and of itself a crazy situation, just constantly getting marked and still staying at the top of the leaderboard, Michael. Like, they're the only squad that has had to deal with being hunted so far, and they're the only squad that has stayed in first place this entire time. That is a crazy situation. Is it just due to the fact that there's so many people that are trying to come after them and they're feasting off the kills of it? Like, what's going on with the squad?
I don't know, because now that I think about it, they aren't. I don't think I've seen them do a blind send yet. They are playing late and coming in late, and they're always on the edge of the zone and they're chasing the zone, and that instantly takes out 80% of the lobby because they've all sent into the middle. So those guys in the middle of the zone aren't just going to get in their cars and go and drive to the edge to go kill them because they all think they can win the game. Later in the game, maybe that's why we're seeing them like start getting tunneled a little bit more, because now them players who used to be in the middle have now been shifted out, and now that might be their only play is to just go and kill them. But yeah, considering they're the first place team, you'd think some other players and other teams are looking at them and being like, we are all sending it to the middle because it seems the best, but the team that's in first and has been first the whole tournament is just keeping good decision making and just playing edge and going in, playing off of what they see.
Time to jump into the next one. The race continues as we enter, I guess, a new lap is the best way to describe it. Plane path's going to be very far up in the north, pretty much staying on the western side of the map in its entirety, going over Stadium and ending just over, what is it, Hongshan, that area down there to the south. So very western lean on this plane path, Michael. I mean, we do see Stadium, Test Track, all that other stuff, but does it feel like we're leaning this way already?
Yeah, I mean, there is that whole thing that the circle has to touch the plane path, so we'll see. But Weenie's team, again, instead jumping playing for edge. They are, unless they get a really good northwestern shrink here, they often ignore the circle one and they just tank the blue, and they'll come in maybe as circle 1 to 2 pops. But yeah, I'm hoping for the leaderboard's sake and for everyone else below them that it's going to be southeast, as far away as possible from Weenie's team, so they're just chasing the zone the whole game.
Man, there's a decent chance of that happening. It feels like we've been getting a lot of pulls down into that river to the south around Ring John. So there's like, we see that like hook of a river being very common. I won't say it's as common as what we see going on with Test Track, Stadium, and whatnot, but we've got a couple of squads already making the commitment. Of course, Batsu's going to go Test Track. No surprise on that one. Pippa 10D going to be back on the outskirts around this one. Stadium is going to belong over to Tiggleton and crew. But most people think pretty much on plane path, and the circle does lean north. Oh my God, Michael, you called it. Look at this. We've got Winnie inside the circle, at least one of their players at the start.
Yeah, I mean, this is new for them as well. They're not often in Circle 1, so they might find themselves, they might go early, middle Circle 1, and then if Circle 2 shifts away, everyone already knows where they are because they've been marked earlier in the game. So they might find themselves in some waters they haven't been in yet.
Is going to be absolutely crazy as we look at this. Is we've got Batu already down to just 3, and Thugfast living up to his name, coming in quick. This is absolutely crazy as Mark. I mean, this is hometown territory for Batu, right?
Yeah, this is home turf, right? This is where they need to get the points. They can't let the leaderboard slip away slightly. Down. Obviously, the coach's tab for Twisted Minds is out already, but they had the recall sent up, so they're able to get the chip if they need to. Battalions go towards the higher side, getting some pressure, shotgun in hand. They're going to hear that click before they open the door. They'll be looking through the little window, trying to figure out exactly where he is. So Battalions really can't telegraph too much. He just has to keep cool, calm, and collective because he needs the reinforcements to come his way.
Just playing it safe for the time being. Looks like his teammates have managed to pick up a vehicle. They are coming in to reinforce right now. It is a shotgun-heavy squad, to say the least. They are leaning close range, and they've got goals. But I really do love how Batu is playing this angle. This is so great, especially setting up for a shotgun. The door does pop on the other side of it, so it provides a little bit of defense. But now that the vehicles are coming in, people from Skipping Your Squad should start to know that this is taking a bit too long. Up on top of it, though, Batu can't really get the shots in that he wants. Finally, at least does get the knock on a 1, but he goes down as well.
Yeah, he's unlucky on that first shot, isn't he, really? Good grenade goes on the top, though. I'm surprised the guys didn't maybe put up a little bit further round, and they have a Panzer. Maybe launch it just to the feet of Battalions, but for this one, they use the cover of the building. Melman example. Okay, that's going to be OP. Melman. If you get this off. No, let him shoot it. Let him shoot it. No.
Oh, Biel, you're the ruiner of fun, but I respect it. On top, he doesn't know. Example now, low ground, all by his lonesome. And we've seen him have some pretty big clutch moments from positions like this before in the past, but this is going to be really hard. The only thing that he has going for him is the fact that everybody is vertical above him, as now Winnie is going to get revealed. And Heaven does have one of their players very close to him.
Yeah, Payne's
Tickleton's close too.
Heaven is literally there. So he's going to know they're neighbouring. I really like this zone because that location, especially where Payne's is, we see the zone play there in a normal esports mode. Very different today. It might go down to the south, and that means we're going to see a mass migration. But there are a lot of people looking, I suppose, Weenie's way.
Well, we also have Kickstart and Pippo that are just stacked up on top of each other in a rotate. Skip and YoBL also getting some vision on this one. They're taking a couple of shots, trying to stall out anything that's going to be going on around Test Track itself, as this is becoming a new set of problems just on the hillside. This is all you can really do. Kickstart in some trouble. Beanie already down. Out of this entirely. BTK Master Jam's going to go down. It is just Kickstart. This is just terrible for them. Sitting in second place right now at 59 points, taking so many casualties this early.
Yeah, this is a team that wants to build a momentum from that first game, or game number 6 today. Kick, looking for that confirmation. Doesn't quite get it with the grenade. Looks for a second one. Pippa has received some damage. Kick trying to bide some time now. Use the ridgeline to maybe get that res. Plays Peekaboo over the top. I can cause enough damage. Actually, it might now be the call not to res, but just to use the ridgeline and get away. But there's already Corky there. Honey Badger now gets a confirmation on the board. And for them, they are down bodies and out of time.
Just running for the hills as the new circle has popped, and it stayed pretty north of Test Track and what we're looking at. So that means it's going to be Heaven, Zulu, Weenie, all over there, just stacked on top of each other. And oh, Weenie, you're getting really close. I don't think that they know that Payne's is there. This is going to be massive if Heaven can manage to steal this one this early.
Well, the thing is, Payne's had the information of where he is, and you'd expect those cars migrating in from the west. You're going to roll and go, do you know what? The chances are going to be high that this could be the hunted team. Payne's, he's got level 1 helmet. He does have the level 3 vest. Now he sees the head of Arakas. He does make his way forward, but he second guesses it. Maybe because he needs the reinforcements. The rest of his team hasn't mass migrated, and maybe because it's really difficult. The path and routes from that south to climb up high is going to be pretty much impossible for the team. They're going to have to move across towards that west.
And remember, Tickleton is right here. Tickleton is a squad that we've seen regularly going after the hunt. And they are right now sniffing for any blood that they can find. The circle has stayed up into the north, right on top of Weenie and everybody else. Michael was talking about how we could see them play from a defended position. Well, this is what they've got to do now. 10D coming up on one side of it, Hibako on the other side of it. Everybody's starting to swarm around this compound. It feels like there's an opportunity. Zulu even catching some airtime trying to come after this one. Batu's finally eliminated.
Pains can hear the cars rotate around on that north, so he does reposition as well. I think as soon as that starts kicking off, they will get involved. Corky's team, though. I feel like they might have listened to Michael in the break there, and now they're looking to try and get as many points on the board. Rex is down, 108 going to be out. That's 2 as they look to try and climb the leaderboard.
Marcelek under some duress as well at range. He's just got to run through this one. So close to Weenie right now, but that's going to be its own problem. If he continues on this path to the north, he's going to bump into Heaven, and yep, it's going to be Sosa that gets the shots onto Marcelek. Hard to confirm due to the way that the hillside's lined up. Thanks for the spectator showing us that one, but Evan, what do you do? Looks like it's just reinforced away, but this is going to put him close to Tickleton.
Just a bit of close to Tickleton. Kick not getting a break yet. It's phase 2, he's on the way out, and the hunt will continue. His car's pretty much spent. Good shots go through, and he has the dancing feet as Kick finds safety, and Pippa, well, eager to find point number 3.
This is way out inside the blue zone. I mean, Skipinyo's pretty close to this as well. Pippa's, of course, the one taking the shots. We do have an emergency pickup that's being called by, looks like, Cowboy and the rest of the crew over there. Doozy's just trying to get into the circle. Nobody into the north right now. It's going to be Pippa going down. Not Pippa, sorry. That was going to be the Kraken going down on Pippa's squad. Pippa, the last one, still up.
Lost remains. Pains looking to try and push in. Tickle's team, as we said before, eager to maybe try and take on the hunt. There's the position reveal again. This is really interesting for me now because they're in the center of the compound. This is what we said about in the break, that they haven't got the opportunity now to try and lock this one down. Purdy will fall, so it's charged forwards. Pains gets that confirmation as a reinforcement, but he's still rocking a level 1 helmet. He's not been able to have the opportunity just to stop him, make sure he's got all the right utility and the gear on.
This is a very interesting point because now, centered up, Weenie has been revealed. All the squads that were roaming around the outside know where he's at. They can look on the map, see, okay, he is in this compound. But nobody is really going after it too much except for kind of Gunner, maybe Obi-Wan. I mean, the 2 squads that have gone for the hunt time and time again right now, and Obi-Wan Coyote as well as Tiggleton, both looking right at Weenie's direction. But it's really hard to kind of navigate given the fact that there's so many other squads kind of cooped up in all these different angles.
I'm about to say, this is going to be a problem. The centralized compound, we've seen in other games, teams just crash in, right? Because they've only got realistically, the only hard cover that might remain in a late game. But can anyone even get there? That's the problem. There's high ground that obviously needs to sort of migrate, especially from the south. It's very difficult, that sort of drying up riverbed. It's going to be difficult for these teams to kind of navigate, especially if they want to crash.
Michael, I hear you got some points for us on what's going on. What you got for us?
Yeah, so when this next circle pops, you're going to see at least 3 or 4 teams that aren't going to be in the next zone, and the next play in doesn't look great. So I would fully expect everyone to know where Weenie's team is and just crash that compound. Literally get that kill. If you can win, if you can kill the full team as well, aside from just like killing Weenie himself, then you've got a game-winning compound, because you're not going to win the game from your tiny edge that you're kind of squeezing time out of. Like, when the circle pops, 3 or 4 teams won't be in here. I'm expecting someone should just be crashing this middle compound. Everyone in the south, for instance.
Yep, it looks like it's going to be the southern teams that are going to have to try and make something happen. Kawazine, Zulu, and Skipinyo all going to have to make a run through, but it's going to be Hibako as well as 10D and Aduzi going to be the gatekeepers over into the west. Corky's going to have to make a push up right next to Yarain as well as Mizera. And Winnie still just chilling in the middle of it all as EMPs just eat this circle, Mark.
I love it. If it's not the red zone, it's an EMP. Everyone, Michael was 100% right. Everyone needs to go crash that combine, especially in the south. But PUBG went, no, Michael, we're going to make sure that we disable all vehicles, so they have to run their way.
Grenades coming out from Yarain. How do they land? Right at the feet. That's 1. Are we going to get second one? There it is. And Mizera on the gatekeep in a ton of trouble. Just a great solo play coming up from Etsu.
Yeah, maximising points now. Corky team arrive, the EMP shocks some of his cars into orbit. They get one. Simzera's the final player now. He has to dodge himself in towards the smoke. Honey Badger only got 8 shots left. And doesn't need the shots though when Corky's there with the grenades, looking to try and get this confirmation done. But it have been fully denied. Those cars are not going anywhere.
Everything's just locked down right now. Nades roll down. Smizera does get eliminated. New approach coming up back behind this one is going to be Pippa, but the crossfire onto Corky's squad is pretty fierce. Skipinyo's coming up very close, right up on top of it all. Don't forget about Etsu's over here in heaven, can get some vision on all of this. It feels like right now Corky's squad is the hunted squad, not Weenie who's in the compound.
They can't go anywhere. They have to wait for this one to clear. With 10 seconds to see phase number 5, the EMP should say goodbye, and there it goes. Skipinyo's team does come in from that sort of south side. Joel's team, though, a little bit further towards that northwest, and Solo be able to try and hold out. The zone will come down, position revealed, but there's no surprise that they have not left the compound because there's been no need to. And EMP, there's another blessing again.
Over in the east, you can see Abaku is right up on top of Kawazine. Obi-Wan Coyote is running a 2-2 split to the north and south, getting harassed on that southern section right now. Lots of damage being exchanged between them. Shando almost goes down, but manages to survive. It feels like nobody really wants to go after Weenie right now. I guess because they're afraid of maybe supervision getting marked. I think that feels like everybody's afraid that there's like 3 or 4 squads waiting to jump on the compound, so nobody wants to make the call.
Oh, Mortifire coming in. I don't know if that is coming in from Wenie's team, because you know they are a kill-hungry team as well. They're going to be short, but they are in one of the dips. I think you could be right, though. I generally do think you can be right. There's only one now encroaching their way in, and it looks like it is kind of maybe trying to sneak his way in to find himself 10 points as he's right underneath the eyes of Weenie's team. We'll pause for that for a second as we are getting Skipinyo's team do make the play in, and they will clear out the remainder of Corky's squad. They go out in 12. There you go, Gunner. It is Gunner. Sneaky as he plays with the arm. He makes the drive forward though. He gets the opportunity. He gets the knock and he gets the flush. Scrap that. Tickle 2 gets another chance at 10 points, and Gunner bags himself the money. What a play.
Solo stealth plays from Gunner in a big way. So said runs over there. Winnie was dropping those mortars like you were talking about on everybody down to the south, and just using all of the sound cues of the firefighting around, Gunner finds a way to sneak in and steal those points away. Big play from Gunner.
It had to be Gunner. It was a YOLO attempt. He just felt it. W key down. He heard the bolty shot. He knew he could get in there without him swapping over. And Weenie had no chance because the big gun came coming.
Doozy in a little bit of trouble, sandwiched between 2 different squads. Well, kind of 2 different squads. Baco on one side over to the east, and it's going to be Azulaman right up close. So depending on how we see a Doozy rotate around this could be an issue, but Zulaman might just be trying to use them for cover. Use the shield in front. And just show it. So, just runs. Knows exactly where he is, man.
He had the click and he was like, headshot. And he was like, oh, it's him. Woohoo! 3 points. Let's go, Gunner.
I mean, that is a valiant sacrifice. Obi-Wan Coyote wanted to make sure that nobody is up in that pergola on top. Heaven trying to sneak in on the other side of it. Skipinyo on the other side of Heaven. So 3 squads all stacked up on top of each other. Weakened squads down to the south. Baco in a little bit of trouble as you can see Kane's taking a lot of damage. The crossfire is just so strong.
It's going to be a strong crossfire. Both teams now fighting for the outside edge. One team still remaining in. There's a couple of shots go back. And obviously the 100, as confirmed, is now successful. So those additional points will be going Tickleton's team's way.
Okay, so up to the north, we've got the firefight that's going on the top of the hillside for control of what could be the remainder of the Circle of Doozy, realizing the fact that maybe there's some vulnerabilities in compound, but the compound stays onto Winnie's squad. This could be massive. Obi-Wan and Coyote, do you make the push down, or do you just try to clear everything to the north? Heaven, the solo up, is trying to hold back Skipinyo's squad and doing a decent job of it.
It's going to hold at the moment. Cowboy has the high grounds. They will look down towards that compound. 5 teams remain. Have to try and manage this one out. They need to try and use the opportunity to climb that leaderboard. They've had a good game already. That play with Cowboy was strong. They're trying to find some additional points in these solo players lurking around them.
Oh, Skipinyo just... this is the benefit of the top of the hillside that we're talking about. There's nowhere to go. Obi-Wan, Coyote, and crew are going to have to start making their way down the hill, but they're putting in a ton of work. When he hears those firefights up to the north, They've managed to set up their 2 players to try to defend in. So, in the middle of all of it, it is Winnie, Aaron Guys, so said, the last 2 up. Obi-Wan Coyote with 4 up to the north and a crate right on top of him. A doozy with a couple of trenches to play from, and the rest of his squad all still 4 up, playing from a low ground position.
There's a low ground position for them. 4 versus 4 versus 2. Obviously, with the 10 points off the board, Winnie's team is not going to be in the case where they're going to be claiming, but it's now looking like we'll be finding themselves over that 85-point threshold. A couple more kills. We'll send them over. The placement points will top it off. They just need to keep their heads down while these 2 Clash of the Titans, North versus South, might get the fight underway.
I mean, yeah, Obi-Wan Coyote's squad has the high ground. They have that hillside that they're playing, but it's not inside the next circle. They have to make the choice. Do we just try to roll down into the independent cover pieces, or do we go after the compound that we know that Winnie's been playing for a while? Looks like it's going to be the commitment down, but Aaron Guy reads it. Great spray coming up. 3 down already.
Done.
Great shot.
Jeez. That, talk about getting above the point threshold in style. It's going to be the way to go. Now, for everyone else in the home, that we know it's going to be on the 85-point threshold, so we'll come back on there. We'll talk about that in the break. Winnie's team, though, has to try and deny another 4. Well, there's an explosive way to do that, and maybe a C4 in hand will be the way to do it.
And remember, you have to hit 85 and then win the next game. So even if Winnie does manage to pull off the miracle run and win here, they still need to pick up another round after this one. This will not cement the victory. They have to get another one after breaking the threshold. Great nade comes up. A doozy down. The duo, no fear. Weedy playing on top. Aaron Guy does go down, so it is a solo versus 2.
It's not just a solo. It's God mode. So it's indeed M249. The only advantage that he's got is they should be able to get the res back on, so they'll be back to a 3. He's got the high ground. He's going to take the opportunity to take the last reload that he's going to need for the game. 150 in the chamber. There's the confirmation, so it will be a 3 versus 1. The zone, well, what are you going to say? Favors, I suppose, the Deuce's team. It's the animation when he has to jump off it. It's not going to be helpful for him. He's going to launch a couple of spray. He gets another knock. Maybe he gets the opportunity to get down, but no, it's not the case. A Deucey, they get the win, but the win, surely, we have to talk about him, Matt, is Weenie's team making it over the 85-point threshold.
Well, I mean, this is also big for a doozy. It puts them closer to that 85 points themselves. And this has just been a crazy game. Gunner with that big, massive play coming up. Weenie making it in the later stages yet again. Michael, just absolutely nutty game.
Yeah, it feels like everything they do turns to gold. Like everything, no matter what happens, even the streamers are getting 3Ks out of cars that are drive-bying at you. It's just, that's complete crazy plays that not even some pro players do, honestly.
I mean, absolutely nuts. And again, remember, Weenie was marked in that compound or close to the compound 3 different times. And I don't understand. Michael, why didn't anybody really feel like they wanted to go after it?
I don't know. I think a lot of people have it in their mind that they can still win the game and they don't want to, quote unquote, throw their game because of the 10 points. But the reality is those 10 points are a win. You're going to get, and it's a lot freer than winning the game. Winning the game is really hard, especially when half of each team is a pro team. You can't just act to play properly and win the game because it's just not that easy. Like, I don't know. On the south, I can only imagine this terrain is very lumpy and your car gets thrown all over when you're driving across those ridges. So maybe people just didn't think there was a path to actually crash the middle compound because their cars would just get stuck on the way there.
I mean, Aaron Guy did show them that making an approach in a car might not be the best way to come after him. You were talking about it a ton, Mark. We are now past 85 points. So what are we looking at going forward?
Which is the key thing now. So obviously yesterday when we hit the threshold of 60, that was when we stopped day number 1. And then after 85 points now, a team can take the victory. Now they can't do it in the same game, guys. So they can't get 85 points and get the win. So for example, in that last game, if Weenie's team did get the win, we wouldn't be stopping. We'd be going one more time. But Weenie's team now is the only team with the opportunity to stop the day number 2 and crown themselves the champion and take the lion's share of the prize pool. But they has to get a victory. Irrelevant if there's only one of them left. As long as they win, they end off the day.
And a doozy back behind them, 20 points behind. I mean, whenever we're looking at that, Michael, like, what, that has to be, you have to assume, what, 2 games for a doozy to just try to catch up and break that 85 points, unless they manage to take down Weenie?
Yeah, I think I might have to slip you some pocket money and go to Sosa's house and unplug his internet, because that's it seems like they're not getting caught at all. They're just, like I said before, everything they do turns to gold. They're just Sosa, I guess, and Perfectus are just IGLing them into every late game. It's really impressive.
I mean, again, Gunner making the clutch play for Tiggleton, getting
so
them the
good.
10 points, keeping them competitive. Kickstart having a little bit of a bad game that time around does allow Doozy to kind of creep up and take that second place position, but we still got games to play. We're going to take a quick break and be right back.
But 7-7, Olo finds the dirtiest of angles. But he's got more. He looks for the fucking wall. He's got him. 7-7.
大家好，我是17战队的77。最初玩这个游戏，印象最深刻的时候就是当时这个游戏刚出来的时候吧，就是很火。然后家里的电脑玩不了，然后就只能去网吧里面去偷偷的玩。然后当时就印象很深刻吧，总是偷偷跑到网吧去玩这款游戏。对，当时这个游戏刚出来的时候，大家就想去尝试着玩一下嘛。所有人玩了之后，就全部都爱上了这款游戏。没有一瞬间吧，就是每天都想着什么时候能玩这款游戏，每天都想到这款游戏，就没有印象很深的一瞬间。一开始玩这款游戏的时候，就是抱着娱乐的心态嘛，然后发现自己总是单人吃鸡，然后打出来的压枪很厉害嘛，然后就觉得自己好像有一点天赋。当时想走职业这条路的时候，可能周围的人都不是很理解吧，然后不是很支持，然后我就想一点一点证明给他们看嘛，然后就去尝试了，就去试训了，然后慢慢的就证明给他们看，我是能够走职业这条路的。我打职业以来最难忘的一个瞬间，应该是2024年 PCL 秋季赛吧。当时在天霸战队夺得了联赛冠军，就是自己很开心吧，因为是我第一个大赛的冠军嘛。就很多大小小的比赛我参加过很多，我也打了很多年了，但是那是我第一个大赛的冠军嘛，所以印象深刻。也有压力，也有动力吧。保持自信的根源就是我觉得我对自己有自信，因为我觉得自己有实力能够来到17战队，并且17战队也愿意信任我，所以我还是有自信的。从 FPP 转换到 TPP 的话，我个人的话，那应该是就是多练习嘛，多练习，然后多习惯 TPP 视角嘛，因为毕竟 FPP 跟 TPP 在我看来是两种游戏，所以肯定是要多练习的，绝对不会改变的东西。这款游戏就是职业比赛上面从 FPP 变成 TPP 了，但是我觉得我不会改变的是，这个游戏是一个团队游戏，我应该就是我打法应该是不会改变的，就是要比较团队一点，因为我觉得这个游戏是团队游戏嘛，然后只有通过团队协作才能够赢下比赛。谢谢粉丝一直以来对17战队的支持，就是让我们一起期待明年的赛事和明年的17战队。我相信明年的17一定能够重回巅峰。
Блин, думаю, надо в центр. Я поехал к вам, позабейте, пацаны. Сидите. Я сейчас к вам приеду, мы будем дефать.
Дал? Выбил? Надо на метке где-то есть.
Даешь.
Видно.
Сколько их там? Ребят, четверка, фуллоп он там бегает, их можно ловить.
У меня вылечил!
Прикиньте, мужики, я еще думал, послышалось мне или нет, прикиньте. Я туда чекнул это лево и не понял. Блять!
He's inside the room on the left. I think you just get in there and mouse one him, bro.
Is he in here?
Left side.
He's on the left, inside the storage. I get it, just fucking full W on my mouse one him. He's not ready. Just full W mouse.
Is he right in here?
No, the third door.
Right there. Go. Flash.
Another one in here.
Let's go, baby. That's how we do it. That's how I fucking do it. I'm built for this shit. I'm different. I'm fucking different. Now you know that.
Макита тропа.
Ну, типа,
через
она
вот
уже,
это.
по-моему.
Да, вот это заебись. Едут вас. Один бежит сверху. 3 ног. Вайп, найс, заебись.
Мои мальчики! Мои!
Срив ТП просто.
Сзади уже подбегают на тачку.
Just built different. Just built different. I mean, poor old Weenie just got PUBG'd in the worst of ways there, Michael. Just, oh.
Yeah, that's what you expect when in these type of tournaments. Just a little creative genius. Just get in there, get the business done, and get out. Gunnar just has a quote of the century there. You just in my head, I was imagining he's like, "Listen, ladies and gentlemen, this is how you do it. This is how I do it. Why don't you just do this all the time?"
That's a pretty decent Gunner. So, help me out, Mark. You were calling out the picks from Americas. Pretty heavy about how many Falcons picks there were, and what are you wearing now?
Yeah, there might be a reason as to why. Maybe I took a bribe as well. I don't know. Maybe no one asked me for my picks. But what a play from Gunnar! What a play from the legend! We can see him just sneaking his way through on the map, go da-da-da-da-da, and then that whole W key and left mouse him, get him out. Absolutely love it at the end. But even the comms is listening to the guys that when he got the knock, they didn't even quite clock that it was them first. It was the moment he went down, it was like, oh, yeah, it's the guy with the red outfit. Yes, we've got him. Flush, flush, flush. And they got the additional points. Good fun, and that's what this event is about.
And just shout out to production for that. Thank you for giving us both sides of that. That is just glory in everything that I want. That's the epitome of PUBG to me there, Michael.
Yeah, those clips are... that's like the old Itchris clip, you know, when he jumps in the back of the car and he just follows the Turkish team behind him. It's like, this will go down in the history, and especially Gunnar, the one that's done it. That's like, I swear, Gunnar's like the burnt peanut of PUBG. If that guy streamed more, he would be global. That guy is such good content. That's why Tick keeps him around.
I mean, like, still whenever I think about Gunnar, one of my favorite things is whenever, what was it, the very first PGC, I don't know, so long ago, whenever they were trying to qualify and he was like still playing, and it was he showed up in the white t-shirts with the Sharpie written with all of their like logos and everything like that on them. Oh,
sponsor here.
I love that squad. So I would like just shout out to everybody. But back over to the leaderboard. We were talking about it beforehand. Weenie has broken the 85-point threshold. If he can take a win, he wins it all. We are doing Smash rules, so that's all she wrote. Everything now focuses on what can this Weenie do? It is just crazy when we look at how this has gone through, Mark. It has just been the Weenie show the whole way through.
I'm not biting. I'm not biting. I know you're trying, right? And I know you keep throwing them out towards me, but no, it's not going to happen. Maybe at the end. Right, there's no change. Weenie's doing now the hunted. No one else has been able to top the leaderboard. I would have liked Gunnar to top the leaderboard, though, just with that one play. But hey, it is what it is. It is now going obviously back to a wrangle, but they need to get the conversion. This is the first time we actually saw them get the zone realistically, and they obviously played it out really well. And it brings down to that point, Michael, you was talking about a minute ago. Like, maybe people didn't have the path in to get in, but I also think there's a psychological to it. People just maybe don't want to crash this team because they're fragging.
Yeah, but also on top of that, because the game's moving at such a speed, I don't think many people realize they were a 3-man team and Perfectix was dead, and he's one of their star players. So it's like, if you're a team that like you're 4 up and you're out of the zone, just see Perfectix is dead and there's only one pro player alive. I mean, Cowboys team probably tried to do that, and they still had the Iran guy to 3K them out of the car. So it doesn't really matter if the pro player's dead, because the superstar players coming out from the content creators as well.
Every game so far, that team has jumped out early as well. So again, maybe something people are starting to read into. Doozy's team, they do like to sort of land on this side of military. I do obviously like to normally, as the squad, actually land for that kind of mill to power, but obviously it's not a full squad for a Doozy. So, interested to see what they're going to do. Playing path, though, for this one, Michael, is the southwest up towards the northeast, goes through the heart of the south. That is the grassy pastures. That is going to be a wrangle.
Yeah, I think Sosa's trying to big brain this for a milli game circle. I think it would be heartbreaking to be in first place and need to win a game that is a milli zone and you're not on the milli zone island, because a lot of teams that are looking for extra points, they might just bridge camp. You know, it's just, so if you're already on milli base. They will be favorites to win because they have the best prio, and yeah, there we go. So said with the big brain calls here, huh?
You've got pro insight now. Come on, as a player, you've made the big call. Where do you go? Do you go all the way towards the observatory? Do you plan towards the compounds, or do you just try and hold out, kind of in the military base itself?
So the pro players so said in Perfect they should be looking east for a Novo stretch team. They should know that they will not get the top radio tower. That is not their prio. If they go, they will throw their game, and both teams will die up there. You can't really take the tower, the little station west of it either, because that's kind of also the top team. Although if they go fast, they could. Usually, you will sit around the nursery building northeast of military base.
Yeah.
Or they could just play for a coastal control, considering there's no land ratio. Maybe that's probably a better idea. Usually playing for the nursery, that's because phase 4 is the water shift, right? But there is no water shift until phase 6. So maybe going all the way southeast fast and playing for that control is good, but it's hard to say. They might not do much, to be honest, because they've only took center once in this whole tournament. And I mean, they got to the top 2, but they don't need to be middle to win games, it seems.
There's also another bit of pressure we need to factor in now, right? So we let this fight unfold. For me, there's a big point here, Michael. They're not just got the hunted. Their positions are not just going to get pinged every or 3 times this map. Teams have to actually proactively go after them, right? Because if they don't now, and they do get a victory, that's game done. That's the end of the evening. They close off, and they'll be the champions, and they'll take the lion's share of the prize pool. So I'm expecting now more reactions, not just from Tickleton's team, to go after them, but other teams that are around them, especially ones now in military, they should be looking at this. Actually, we've just exposed their position. We need to stop him. Why? Because we want more games to catch up to get over that threshold.
Yeah, this game should literally, once they get pinged on the map, this game should just be a 1 versus 15 team lobby. There should be, okay, kill this team fast, and then we can all collectively play the game our own way. Because they've now know they're on melee base. If there was his Verni team, then you kind of go, yeah, it doesn't really matter. You can just let them die natural causes, you know. But if they're on melee base already and they're gonna get an elite level compound, and maybe if they just get some luck and they don't have to move at all, they just insta close the tournament, or if you just let that team survive 5 zones like they've done every single game so far, then they're most likely going to close it out. So everyone should be looking to kill them as fast as possible. And yeah, look, I don't think anyone checked the Novo stretch on them, so they're getting punished.
Whilst it though, let's get the Panzer, and they'll be down to a 3. Their position is revealed now. So I'll be interested to see, as you say, these teams might start to react to them. They're down bodies, so everyone will be seeing the kill feed as well, and knowing that they're down bodies, maybe they do go down to this southeast corner and just try and hold out on the coast, because we did have a coastal military yesterday. Obviously, it was on the other side, and we saw that sort of beach, but I think this is now, they've been forced to make this play, Michael, right?
Yeah, and it's like I said earlier, it's not even a bad play, because the water shift isn't until phase 6, so the game could still end literally around their compound that they're in. And when you have this control of this specific coastline, you usually control most of it by yourself. Like, no one dares come next to you. You just have it to yourself. You just shoot any boats away that are coming. I don't think anyone's going to take a boat, because not having cars when you get to melee base in this format is lethal. You do not want to be left without cars. I hope no one camps bridges, because like I said, everyone needs to collectively be on the same team to kill Weenie's team. So yeah, we need some people to be doing some crazy sense to the coastline here to get rid of them once they get pinged again.
Last one for me, Michael, before I let you go, and I am holding you here. Look, they're down to 3. Heaven's team's got the knock. The next 8 minutes, 8 minutes 30, 8 minutes 20, when we see the next reveal for them, and they're still sitting on top of the mountain, surely at that point, one of the teams, if not Heaven's team, has to play south and go chase them down.
Yeah, I mean, honestly, I'm looking at this East Bridge, and I don't know how many teams, they might get a free late game again, because it looks like so many teams are dedicated to the East Bridge. It's insane. I'm hoping, I'm praying, crossing my fingers, toes, everything, that this is a crazy north shrink. There's a chance that it centers up on the northern edge of melee base and then shifts north next circle. That's crazy thinking, but it's been a crazy tournament so far. But yeah, like, when people are taking boats, they're gonna be losing cars. There's not many teams that will be able to punish them unless no bridge camping happens.
Well, you say no bridge camping, you jinx it, because we already got teams holding out the bridge. Michael, thank you very much. It's always a pleasure having you in here for the insight. And then obviously we have got a fight on the other side, so it looks like every one team's been knocked here on one side and actually been cleared up by Batulians.
Very active Batulians this time around, on the hunt for a lot of kills. Very little fear. We saw him circling around Crossburg just a second ago. Arian's going to bump into a couple of friends. They're rotating around. This is right on the edge of zone. Multiple counts. Spectro's going to go down. Obi-Wan now the last one up for his team. Circle does pop, and it stays on military base, keeping Novo as well as Weenie and even Kalazine on the bridge, all still in play.
Yeah, Kalazine's going to play across. This is Marselect. Oh, absolutely love this.
It's going to get loud, right? Nah.
What? To be fair, I did speak to Marselect, and...
No, only one.
Only one. I did speak to him, and I asked him how did he find the zones, and he was like, yeah, it's all good. And he went, no, it's chaos, Mark. It's absolutely chaos. We can't react quick enough. He went, the only advantage is I am not making the calls. So he might have taken a different approach today, but give him the GGs.
I mean, it's IGL problems, right? I just got to pull the trigger and shoot. It makes it way easier. Speaking of pulling the trigger and shooting, a doozy. You're putting yourself in a doozy of position there, but does manage to kind of read the right approach. Zulamon playing this slow. They want to see if they can bait somebody in here and pick up some free kills. Look, all the traps already set.
I think the car is the giveaway. Remember, they reversed the car in, right? So when they come over and they crest, they're going to see that car. Or maybe the front end of the car and go, nope, that's not a hard spawn. There's someone lurking. And they are trying to take advantage. But Jordan's team don't.
Oh.
Taking advantage now of a potential bridge cap. 100 days. Might take 100 days to crash. We look too busy looking to the left. I hit the bus stop, unfortunately, Matt.
Just crazy setup on timings here. The way this comes through. 10D was running right back behind Batu. Batu stopped off. Remember, Kalazine and his team were holding this a little while ago. They moved to the southern section of the bridge. So this is just going to be a continual run and gun up here. You can see Pippa's trying to see if they can find a way around it. They're fine with the knocks. Batu doesn't care about... Well, actually, I say that. Maybe they are going on the hunt of their own. And 10D is already out. They've left. They want no part of this.
I think they got surprised by that bus stop that just suddenly appeared. That's the next position revealed. So, especially for the team, Baku's team, who's rotating around on that south side, they're going to have an idea. Zone has popped towards the north, so we are holding on to the bridge still. It is going to force Weenie's team into a rotation away, and they have played back a little bit more towards that west side, but they are pretty much centralized up now in that south, so expect them to sort of maybe reclimb, but I expect to see a hunt fight coming up pretty soon. See what will happen as the guys will bounce back. Shots will come forward, but I suppose with this zone shift, they go back towards that sort of north side. I've got to be cautious, and a lot of these teams are kind of stuck on that north side. Haven't really got that north rotation, but Kalzine's team here, Matt, is obviously played quickly to get themselves back onto this sort of military side. Now they get to draw their attention and zone these some of these teams into a very difficult situation.
Yeah, I mean, this is just very well navigated by Batu. They went for the underside of the bridge as they were coming in. Xera's going to be on the other side of it. Pippa's trying to do some scouting. Rain's just trying to come back behind all of this one on the boat, and they're going to get harassed by the remnants of 10D. Don't forget about Obi-Wan Coyote back behind all of them. This has just kind of become... I don't even want to say a bridge camp because nobody firmly committed to it. Instead, everybody's just kind of playing it slow, but Weenie has spotted the threat in front of them right on the edge of the red zone.
Red zone's been one of the victors, should we say, of this fun event. It's definitely claimed a lot of lives, more than I think the blue zone. Sam gets a couple of shots from Zera's team now. Just further afield in that sort of northeast corner, but the zone again shifting. It's going to force Weenie's team now into a rotation. They've really only got that kind of Novo pass, so they need to go late here, and it's going to be chaos. Everyone's going to try and centralize up. We know that everyone's going to try and get a compound. Early takes here from Baku's team, though. Kick finds one. Well, example, finds confirmation on another, but they are outstanding. Grenades come over the top, but Marselect, though, proving the point that the Bolty is king.
Absolutely crazy situation whenever we look at this eastern bridge. Kalazine in defense. They have Pippa that's over here as well. Ibako in a ton of trouble just due to the way that setup's come. Kickstart's going to be holding down the other side, that very strong kind of high ground position leading right into the crossroads. To the north is going to be Batu and team, but here comes Weenie. They have no options. They just got to go for whatever they can find.
This is going to be punishing. They are going to be sandwiched now in between. Maybe take the bunker, but a good launch of grenades, a good dump of utility. It can be found here. I mean, for them, is they've got some numbers. They've got to be cautious.
Well, this is a good dip, though. I mean, you can kind of hunker down in here. It denies out vision from the high ground radio tower. The only problem is, often whenever radio tower comes down from this point, it's one of the areas that they're looking for. So it's a way to survive for now. But I mean, if you're Weenie, that's exactly what you want. You just want to try to make it into the later stages so you can pop up and try to win this thing.
Moment gets found. And one finds an opportunity to get across the road. You're all right. Haven't moved just yet. Maslek, again, racking up some kills. Weenie's team just needs to get late game. Everyone else on that leaderboard, they're trying to get above that white line. Zone shift, and that is a favorable shift now towards Weenie's team as they will try and hold the line as everyone from the south to southeast corner has to play into their location.
This dip in a red zone on top of it has the recipe for ruin, if we can see it. Corky and squad going for high ground, going after Heaven and Marslick, who's been harassing everybody for a while, but he's read it. It's just him and Heaven alive right now. Cowboy, I believe, is right back behind all this, having just made landfall. Position is revealed. So now, who makes any form of commitment? Smizera is going to be close. Calzine's going to be close. Marslick goes down. Heaven, the last one up. Pippa and crew coming in to contest into Calzine's position.
What a spray with the barrel. And both of them looked at the map at the same time and, oh, they're just there. I would have let him move in. Heaven would have been like, hey, you start taking the fight and we'll take the third party. The peak came over the top. That puts a stop to it. Heaven has to try and play the re-peak as well. Honey Badger falls, being clipped dry on the MP5. The smoke will bloom, but it won't have enough. The damage actually comes in from Batulin's team. This example looks to try and keep them at bay.
Everybody is scrapping right now. A doozy went over to try to mess with Tiggleton into the west. Zulus having to move their way out of the radio tower positionings. I guess satellite buildings just to the west of radio tower whenever we look at it. Radio tower does manage to get the res up. You can see Corky now trying to make their way down the hillside. Remember, that's going to be pretty close to where we see Weenie and his squad set up at. But now Skippin' Yo, Batu, as well as Kickstart, maybe even some of the Calzine guys, all just taking shots right up on top of radio tower.
They need to keep their heads down here. Zulu's team is playing their way. Corky's team has to work their way down. So does Heaven have to get off. They are running the gauntlet at the moment. Skimminyo's team, though, sending that barrage of 5.56 down their way. They're starting to fall down. Corky's team run out of racetrack, though. Heaven's team, though, launching their way off, and they will fall as well. 11th place. That's a breathing room. Now we see Smira's team, though, make the push, though, as we are sharing a very small building.
I mean, Smizera just runs up, steals the BRDM, takes off. They're perfectly content over here. The new circle's popped. Weenie is inside of it, but the crossroads are not. That means that Skippinyo up to the north, Batu right next to him. They're going to have to make their way into the circle where Kickstart's already defending. Smizera as well as Pippa, they're going to have to rotate in from the east and down into the southwest. It's going to be a doozy getting closer and closer while it's Chris is right on top of Weenie and team.
What a play. What a yoink away. Go on, just close up against the back. No, go away. So stop him. And one. Oh, and
do
one.
the funniest thing, and one. Do it.
Take
just
do it. Oh. He's got Doritos. Throw the Doritos out. That's a free kill. He knows. There's a free kill. There's one. He needs to turn his way around. Confirmation though. Pippa looking to try and work his way over. He's got the backs and backs though. The rest of them, everyone out full though. Pippa's team there. Quick, it's a yoink. Run out and grab it if you can. As soon as he jumps out, Schmidt wants nothing to do with it. He wants to tank all to himself as he now leaves yet again. And the fighting, well, it erupts around Military Islands.
Batu has fought their way into the center of it all. Weedy was trying to go for a couple of peeks. They've stepped out of their dip, and that was instantly punished. Batu just trying to rally underneath of it all. Kickstart's got vision. They're trying to set up some type of line of attack on this one, but a crossfire has now happened. A doozy on the other side of it has spotted out Batu, but Gunner is still alive right next to a doozy. If they're not careful, he can spell their doom. Speaking of doom, here comes Smizera right on top of the BRDM, right through them all. Batu 2 down and jumping out. Smizera just got a back right into the next set. Example goes down as well.
This is full memes. He's not just stolen, he's now stealing points. Melvin, well, as the final player now, Nade's come over the top though. He's looking for the confirmation. As example, the goatee is holds back the tank at bay.
This is absolutely nuts. We still have Weenie alive, looking down into all of it. Pippa slowly creeping in, trying to find somewhere to go, getting harassed at range. Kickstart got vision on it all. It's all isolated. There's the finish of it. Batu is eliminated. Smizera is a problem.
Oh, ooh, from a steal. He's playing the wrong game. He's playing the wrong game. He's loving it though. Kicks team, 1 kill. They have an opportunity as they have this side of the road all to themselves. Pop a couple of smokes, then launch the grenades over the top. The Panzer they will deny, as a doozy says, not to me, mate.
Job done, though, Smeezers. Job is done. Pippa, you guys are in some trouble. Nade bounces. Setups in a great way. The way that connect in. Weenie now has a high ground advantage point that they're looking down into as everybody is just converging on the road. Kickstart has to run down a very high hillside and is going to be extremely vulnerable. A Doozy's read this, and it looks like they're trying to see if they can pinch up into Weenie's spot and take them down.
This is really interesting play for me, especially for Weenie's team, is they've got to try and defend, and you expect kind of Pippa's team to try and work their way up. You got a big question of where does Kick go? Does Kick go, do you know what? We're not going to win this game, but we need to stop Weenie's team. And they might sort of launch those cars. A Doozy, on the other hand, well, they're not going to commit over the top because they're going to get shot on the sides by Kick. So they're going to have to hold. I think this all falls down to what does Kick do and where does he drive his team?
There's so few options with that road in front of them, and how vertical that drop down from the top is. It's so brutal to make their way through the entirety of this. Pippa, at least having their last member go down, is going to open up more of this one. But remember, Weenie on top has been doing a good job on surviving, and a Doozy doesn't want to go for that high ground as much anymore. They're more concerned with the threat of Kickstart at the time, and that's exactly what Weenie wants. This has worked out perfectly for them.
This is insane because if Kick comes over the side here, Doozy's going to be exposed. Then going to take the option. Perfectixo finds one. They launch Doritos down. Doesn't find Phil first as he finds the cover. With Kick, with a Doozy team's fighting, it's favouring towards Weenie. All they need is a victory. 99 points at the moment. And they launch a barrage of nades. A Doozy makes them run forward. But Perfectix can't find the confirmation. And now they have to come off the high ground.
Just rolls down right into the thick of it all. Doozy's taking a lot of damage. They're now down. It is just one up for Kickstart. This is the opportunity for Weenie. They're on the high ground. They know where they're going to be pushing down into. It's all coming down. Blue zone collapsing. Jam on the outside of it. Just trying to see if he can get a utility. Can he step out? He's in the vehicle trying to creep out, but that opens him up to shots and he goes down. Weenie takes it.
They take the victory. Weenie over the threshold. 103 points. And we are done, people. Weenie hold the line. They lose one early to a Panzer, but they found the dip, and the dip launches its way to glory.
What a wild finish there, Michael. These last two games have been nuts.
Yeah, I think we're seeing a new CIS super team. I think Twisted Minds has got the wrong team right now. I think they need to maybe pick Weenie and co-op. Jesus. What a god squad. Everything they did in every game. They switched playstyles so many times. This game, Perfectix had a perfect drive scout on the middle dip, completely abusing the third-person car field of view. It was so good. They wait for stuff to happen and react on what's happening around them. It was so tactical from them.
Well, that was the thing about it, though, right? Whenever we're looking at this, Mark, it's just they handled being marked, they handled being hunted. Every single time their approach into this was just so incredibly tactical, but looked so casual. That makes it just professional as hell.
Yeah, I think I said it yesterday. I feel like they just didn't react to being the hunted or the hunters. Actually, yeah, both. They definitely weren't the hunted. They were the hunters. As they sort of held out the final line, but it was difficult. That last zone there, that was a Doozy's team and Kick's team. They should have looked at each other and gone, do you know what, guys? We can't fight. We can't fight. We have to take out that team. And the fact that Weenie's team forced Kick's team into a Doozy's team, that was well played by them.
Well, I mean, whenever we're looking at it, right, Michael, like, Kick didn't have anywhere to go. They had to go down in that lower section. It feels like Weenie being able to hold back that little bit of scouting that a Doozy was trying to do, because a Doozy did want to move up that hillside. That felt like that was the cementing point, right? Whenever Weenie managed to hold back a Doozy and force them into the low ground, and that put them in the crosshairs of Kickstart, everything just started coming up roses.
Yeah, and I'm surprised there wasn't a little bit of collusion that game, a little bit of shooting your gun this guy, so they know each other. Or like, okay, let's kill this team first because the tournament's about to be over. If we don't team up together, like unofficially, you know, and go kill this team, we're all gonna go home early and not get to play as many games. But yeah, I don't know. It's just every time they're in the late game, it's as literally as if you're watching Twisted Minds. You expect them to win. It's like, I expect them to win every single game they were in because every player was putting on a 5-star performance every game.
And it's just been a dominant showing from Weenie. They started, never let off. It's just been game after game after game, finding points, always being hunted, playing from every single, I guess, negative that you could look at, from faster circles to people being marked and people coming after them. This is just, I was expecting this to be a lot more chaotic whenever I was looking at it, Mark, on the leaderboard. Like, I was expecting to kind of bounce back and forth. This is just, somebody put their foot down and said, nah, this is our event.
Yeah, and it's just that momentum. They just manage it well. You got to remember, they also managed it really well with a large number of zones that didn't go their way. It's also worth noting that's the first time and the only time that we're going to see the Hunter get the successful points as well, because they didn't get defeated. Weenie obviously able to keep his own alive, so an extra 10 points were there. But no, it definitely was point management. It was point control. They didn't really have to deal too much with the zone shifts. A lot of the times, obviously, we're chasing, but so many people were dying in front of him. Every game, they kind of, despite losing the VIP, right, despite losing Weenie, they still had a huge point, so it never felt like a big loss for them.
Well, and just as a reminder to everybody, that everybody on this is streaming. So if you were impressed by anybody at all, yeah, this is a fun event. There's a lot of stuff happening. Go give them follows. Go, even if it's just one of those things that you just want to jump in for a second, give them some love. Shout out a cool play, like maybe Gunner, go give him some love whenever you saw him make the rush in right back behind Weenie. That was just a cool play. This is a fun event. Yes, it's a competitive event, but it is a community event where everybody's come together, streamers, pro players, everything along those lines, and these are always so much fun. So please, guys, make sure you do show love for everybody that competed in this one, because it's hard, right, Michael? Whenever you come in with a competitive mindset and there's streamers that have a more entertaining mindset, and getting everybody on the same page, like, how do you go about doing that?
Yeah, I've played in a lot of these type of events, streamer tournaments, Twitch rivals, and every time I come in and everyone's like, right, you're the pro player, you IGL, and I think it's actually a burden a lot of the time, because I'm trying to play too methodical, and I need to have more of the content creator, have fun, and do some crazy stuff mindset, and stop trying to control the zone and all this and that, because every time I'm playing the game 12 hours a day, however much, and I'm getting out-fragged by people who are meant to be at a low level, but because I'm overthinking it, you know? It's like, honestly, you kind of have to go in and just have fun in these events, because you will perform better. Just literally just like let go of everything and just go have some fun.
I mean, unless Gunner sneaks up behind you and then just stabs you.
Of course, yeah. That's the goat.
Yeah, you're a Weenie. Nobody is judging you for being a little bit mad about that one, because everything was going right and suddenly everything was awry. I mean, standout moments for you, Mark, like outside of course, like a couple of these like ones we were just talking about. Like, what have you kind of taken away from what you've seen inside of it?
I'd love to know how many kills the red zone got. That's number one, because it claimed a lot. I really like the speeds of the zones. I know, because we're agents of chaos and we're casting and we love to see it, right? But it really did. I think, Michael, you alluded to this the other day. It unsettled so many people, players, pro players, and even content creators, because it felt like at a point people were, we saw it, driving away from the area they were fighting to go somewhere else, and they were kind of crossing paths with other teams going, don't go that way because it's chaos that way, and they're going, don't go that way because it's chaos that way, and everyone's struggling with loot. So I suppose for me, a lot of the takeaway was how fast these teams had to adapt, and did anyone really get control at any point? Only Weenie's team, I felt a little bit more comfortable than everyone else.
Yeah, I mean, I'm just still astounded by this. Okay, like when we look at how Weenie played, it felt like they managed to very quickly figure out all of the win conditions for themselves. Like they realized how to play around the timings, everything else. Michael, how do you deal with circles going this fast, being marked, and then instantly just responding to it all, and not just succeeding but thriving inside of this situation so fast? Because it's not like you could prep for this.
Yeah, I think a lot of it is you kind of have to get rid of the whole ADR, like hunting for damage, hunting for kill mindset, because by the time you've done that, you look at the timer and the blue's closing in on you already. You kind of have to have like the 4 IGL mentality of like not letting the game get too far ahead without your thought process and stuff, because if you have someone who's just mouth open, breathing at someone 600 meters away in the zone, then the blue's on you, and now you're just all dead. You just constantly need to be saying, okay, guys, we have 5 seconds and the blue's going to be closing. We need to do this. We can't have 4 different ideas right now. We need to all come on the same page, do this play together, and otherwise we're all going to be dead. Like, you all need to be same page, quick plan, go together, 4-man, everyone's planning themselves. Okay, I'll add my little bit of flair, make the plan work. I'll throw a smoke here, you drive, pull up on it. Like, we're going to work as a team. And yeah, I mean, only one team performed at that type of level here. It was quite apparent.
What was good though to see sorry, mate. This is the first event we saw Master really quiet. We saw his comms on the Panzer. Maybe the chaos from those zones early on is like a counterbalance to the potential of how the game unfolds from now.
He's been muted.
He's literally been muted, not because he's been muted in the chat, but because the zones are moving so quickly, because so much information is coming in, and he's just having to deal with it because we know he's a great player. So he's just constantly on the fight, constantly on the hunt, and more importantly, that last game, he got a handful of bolty kills from the high ground.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. I mean, we've saw a lot of like very strong play. Like we didn't get a chance to really talk about Kickstart, Doozy, the way that they were handling this, because they were very much in the hunt there at the tail end of this. Like if this had gone another game or two, we could have very easily seen them pick this one up. Or if we'd just seen a couple of these bounties go to either one of those squads in a more efficient fashion. But there's so many different moving factors that we're looking at. Guys, I know we're doing a little bit of an overtalk. Don't worry, we're trying to get an interview set up so that way we can give you a little bit of an idea on what was happening inside the squad, because I'm absolutely, I don't want to say dumbfounded, I'm just incredibly impressed. Yeah, okay, we know that team that Weenie was running is strong, but respect where respect's due. There's just so much to look at when you come into this. Like, when we started off of this, I'm going to throw this to each one of you guys, starting off with Michael. Was this the way you were expecting this to develop out? Was it just like one team dominant all the way through, Michael?
Honestly, when I got asked to do this, I thought it was going to be a 12-hour session each day. I thought it was going to be so much like, I thought one game, the top team would win a game, and then next game, 16th place would win a game, and then 14th place would win a game. I didn't think one team was going to look like they did 5,000 hours of VOD review for a new format and just completely ruffle stomp the whole lobby. It was so crazy.
What's your take on it, Mark? Like, is this what you were expecting in the slightest?
Yes and no. I was with Michael. Like, I looked at the format and I was sent through and I was like, hey, it's really good. Like, it's going to be a long format. And then I heard about the zones and I was like, no way, this is going to be chaos.
Yeah, and it was like for a game or two, but then they're like its own meta kind of emerged out of that. Like, this is absolutely crazy. So I think that we've got So Said ready, if I believe correctly. So let's go ahead and start trying to bring him in here and get the interview all set up, because I want to know, like, how. I'm just going to kick this one off right off the get-go. So Said, one off the go. Respect, dude. This was dominant, and not even kind of dominant. This was dominant. How did you guys adapt so fast?
I don't know. That's game just like for me, special for me. I like house, like when I play pub games like or rankeds, I like like dominating everyone. And this fast game I really like, because PUBG is very slow. We know about that, and just need to move fast. Be smart, thinking fast, really. So yeah.
Yeah, congratulations, bro, first of all.
Thanks.
I wanted to know, so before this tournament started, who was IGLing for your team? And was it just one person? Or was it all four? And then also, when you... Okay, I'll leave it at the one question for now, because I'll let Mark go after.
Okay. Okay. I guess it was me, but with Perfectus, of course. So it's like 50-50. And by the way, in the last game, Perfectus said like we need go to this reach, to the speed, where from we won the game. And I said like, yeah, we need to do this because we 3-man and we need just a win, no points. Like, just do it. So like 50-50. Yeah.
Perfect.
Well, Mark, we're going to throw you the next question in. So I said, again, GG's, mate. Congratulations. You got the lion's share of the prize pool, so it's good to see. Big smile on your face. I do want to ask, actually, a quite simple question. You were the hunted, or the hunters, most of the time. Did that ever factor into your game plan? Was you ever worried? Because you always jumped out the plane super early. Was that part of the decision because you might have a target in your back? Or did you guys just go, we're not worried about that, we're just going to play our game?
Okay, it was like a little trolling in the chat, in the Discord chat. I always writing where we were looting. Sometimes I was writing our spot. Sometimes I lying, and every time it was like Winnie was always our huntman in our team. So I don't know, like I just know like no one will be know how drop us. We have like a tactics for skip, so go car and go to loot. Cause zone is really fast. You cannot contest, cause you will die behind the blue zone. You know. So yeah, that's it.
All right, I've got a simple question and then a little bit longer of one. First off, I'm going to throw it out there. What was the reaction like whenever Gunnar killed Weenie? We got like a 10-second section of it, but I want to know, like, was it demoralizing? What happened?
Yeah. No. It was like demoralizing because like we have a good position and we know we need like some few points, like maybe 5 or 10. To be honest, I don't think all about in this game. I just when Weenie was died, like what's Gunnar? Okay, this fishing guy, big boss fishing guy, make a big fish in this game, just kill him instantly. That's it. That was crazy.
So
that was crazy.
Real question.
That was insane and very interesting. Yeah.
What's your feeling on the circles being so fast? What was it like to play in that?
It was that was really cool. I really liked, but some circles was really fast. I think if they will make some another esports settings, should be good if we like medium, you know, like not too fast and not too slow. Like I want to be like play this game like more faster, like maybe first zone or second zone, but the late game should be like slow, because when you have like 7 or 8 zone, like that zone damage very strong, and you cannot play behind this blue zone. So if late game was be like more slower, it will be interesting, I guess. Yeah.
Yeah. I just wanted to ask, were you surprised that more teams didn't try and punish you for being the hunted? It felt like Tiggleton's team was the only team that went fully out of their way to try and kill you. That happened twice, but other than that, you died quite naturally. It wasn't like one team completely inted Weenie to go kill him because he was hunted. It was, you got to most late games and he was also alive. So yeah, my question is, do you think people tried to kill you as the hunted when they should have?
Yeah. I remember one game. I'm not sure. It was Sosnovka in the first day of tournament, and we got revealed, and everyone know about us in our map, and we trying to swim on the boat to the Sosnovka, and I believe it was Tiggleton, and they know about us, and they hunting us. I'm 100% sure. That was hunt, and that was fight behind the blue zone, and I say for me like, just let's go to die, because if you will die behind the blue zone, we got minus 10 points, and it will be bad for us, you know. So yeah, we got hunted.
Yeah, it's what you have to do.
Literally one time, I think.
Yeah, it was that, and then the Gunnar moment as well. It was when Gunnar walked into your compound on on Rondo, but it was only that team that tried to punish you in those type of ways. No one else really tried it.
Yeah.
No, look, I'm not going to give you any more questions. I'm going to give you the space. I said, because you are a legend, you are the GOAT, and you do head the line and share the prize for you and the guys. So look, any final thoughts for you? Anything you want to say to the fans? Anything for 2026? Like, any big words, mate? The stage is yours.
Guys, thank you for the cheering. That year will be amazing. New year. New TPP era in PUBG, so we'll see. Just play the game.
Just play the game. I love it, mate. Again, big GGs. Good to see you. Good to see you on top of the leaderboard, mate. But we'll see you next time.
Oh, and tell Weenie I'm sorry for making so many jokes. He seems like such a nice guy, but I mean, come on, how can I not make? It's right there. It's right there in front of me, and I have to see. There's already a joke I can make right there. I'm just gonna leave it alone.
Leave it alone. Let it go.
I'll let it go. So, guys. Great event. Thanks to everybody that was participating in it. But we're not done. This is the start of the year. We've got the PGS stuff that's about to be kicking off just right around the corner. So make sure you stay tuned in. We're already seeing so much stuff go on this year. It's, a little bit chaotic. There's a lot of stuff that's different, but that makes it exciting in its own way. A lot of different things that are going to be looking at as we make our way forward throughout this year. Also, PEC, PAS, signups are open. Bro, jump in. Get in there right now. There is no reason to not play. If you're going to be playing PUBG anyway, why not? And you get to play in a more like settled format. You can make some new friends. I mean, just join in, get involved in the banter. Like, Michael, what was the push that you needed to get you to play your first game and sign up?
I was just playing anyways, and then I got told when I was playing on the leaderboards back in the day, just go do it, just go play this. And honestly, it's so much fun. Even if you don't want to be pro, you don't want to do anything. It's just like it's that next step up from ranked that people just think, no, you're just gonna go against pros. It's not gonna be fun. But like, first of all, you have to start somewhere. And also, you're not against just pros in the first rounds. You're against other players that work a job, they come home, they just want the adrenaline of just competing and playing against other talented players. Honestly, I couldn't recommend it enough. It's the adrenaline alone is so good. It's a perfect step up from ranked.
Yeah, I mean, just absolutely crazy. It's so fun to get involved in. I encourage everybody to do it. I mean, I've competed several times and failed spectacularly, but every single time I've learned from it and had a lot of fun. So just thank you guys so much. Thank you guys casting with me through the entirety of this one. Thank you to Weenie, all the content creators, everybody that's worked in the production back behind this one. We just want to say thank you guys so much. We appreciate all the work that everybody's putting in. And again, reminder, go give everybody a follow. Go give everybody some love that competed inside of this one. And we just are buckled up, ready to go. I cannot wait to see you guys all back at the next PUBG event. See you then.